once it actually shows up.
All
This
right.
broadcast is live. Oh my God. It's still not coming up on my computer.
It's not coming up? Is it coming up for you? Not yet?
Right here.
Is
No.
it? Am I live? Waiting. I have it on.
There we go.
Is it coming up?
Oh God. Yeah, we're live.
No.
Yay!
All right, cool.
How come my
There's
face?
is there anybody? 8 people are here. Hi, the 8 people who are here.
Yeah.
This is gonna be distracting as shit.
What is?
Like us, but like 5 seconds behind.
Are we? Oh, can you mute you on the fucking TV or whatever? Or
Yeah, it's muted. It's just like watching us move is like surreal. Hey, Lupus is here. That's one of my long-term subscribers right there. And also a mod, but you know.
All right. Howdy. Yeah.
My roommate just texted me saying that she doesn't have any more booze. I'm very pissed.
All right. I will try not to get messed up.
Yeah, don't leave me out of getting trashed. I'd be upset.
All right. So we'll say hi to everybody and then hey.
How's it going?
What is up? Yeah. I've seen Daniel. He's And then we'll go into interview mode, and then yeah.
Cool. Let me see if I can like hide our face. Nope. Okay. I guess I'm just gonna be like watching us a couple seconds behind this entire time. Sorry, people. I get super distracted.
That's right. I get distracted with my hair. So just like you.
The fucking how this is mirrored is like fucking me up because I can't fix my hair properly. I try to push it the wrong way.
Is it backwards? Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It makes you upset.
So why don't you, sir, Mr. Nameless Narcissist?
Hi, that's me.
Yeah, tell us why you started your channel, buddy.
Okay, it's a convoluted story. So basically, once upon a time, born in a small Rust Belt town in Ohio, I had some anger issues when I was a kid, and around the age of 16 or so, or 15, I was sent into. Hey, Tess is here, by the way. Hi, Tess. I was sent into therapy because like I did some kind of fucked up shit. I'm not going to say what it is here. You can check out my channel if you want. It was weird, but that was when in that time frame around when I was 16, it was first brought up then. But I was like, fucking, who cares? I like, even if I am a narcissist, I don't give a shit. That just makes me more special, basically. When I first found out, I literally called myself the pinnacle of human evolution because of how grandiose I felt about it. Which is like, hey, Davey's here too. Basically, as I went throughout my life, I just kept fucking shit up, just being a piece of shit. And without any sort of knowledge about why I was acting. But that had been kind of a trend throughout my life. I was always like, why am I doing the things I'm doing? Because I had no idea. The self-deception and just the egocentric nature of the disorder made it so I had no clue. I had a friend that I would literally ask every time I messed something up, why did I do that? So that they could give me their perspective on it.
Were they correct? Were your buddies right?
That one was very frequently correct, actually, which was impressive. I think they have a lot of narcissistic defenses going on. I wouldn't call them NPD at all, though. As I went on, though, it was around the time I left college. Well, okay, so I had like this huge group of friends that was acting as basically my source of self-esteem juice, or narcissistic supply, if you prefer. And I went to basic training, came back, and all of them kind of realized I was an asshole. And I completely lost my shit and like completely fell apart. I attempted to, off myself, whatever. Didn't succeed, obviously. But after that is when I was reminded, like, whoa, what if maybe that NPD thing was actually real? And then I forgot about it again. I took like the few friends I had left and went and worked at a prison, actually, which was fun. Got a PTSD from that, whatever. But during that time, I started dating this girl, and my borderline got me to cheat on her while the borderline was also in a relationship. It was fun. And once I ruined the first relationship and left, I told her, well, she texted me out of the blue and was like, hey, can we give this a real shot? I did. That went about how you would expect it to go.
Yes.
And
I watched this video on that. I watched your video on that. That was a good one.
I think I actually hid that one because I was afraid of her finding it, actually.
Oh,
I might put it back up. I might. Depends.
Oh, God. Borderlines love knowing how much pain they cause us. They love that.
That's true. That is true. See, my worry is that because she's not diagnosed, I just see a lot of borderline traits in her. So I'm afraid she'll see it and then get like really upset at me or some shit. I do not want to deal with that. And then time went on, and yeah, so I had that same question of why the fuck did I do that? So, and that last girl who I cheated on, she had like a rough childhood too. So it brought up a lot of like the crap. I was like, wait, my childhood wasn't normal. Oh, so I ended up going to therapy, and for 2 fucking years, I lied. I just lied. I told her what I knew everybody wanted to hear, what were the healthy things. And my therapist was probably really confused because I would be like, yeah, this is probably the right thing to do. And then like, I'd just be like, I would do the bad thing, and she just couldn't wrap her mind around why I was acting like that. And one day, I was talking about some of my friends and how like they didn't understand me and crap. And then like, I just kind of started laughing. I said, well, it's no surprise. They're just so fucking stupid. And then she was like, wait, what? And I went on like this tangent being like, I mean, fucking look at me and look at them. I'm more attractive than them, smarter than them, more charismatic, and just went on and on and on. And as I'm going to leave, I'm like, fuck, that felt good. And then she was like, yes, I'm humbled. And I was like, are you fucking mocking me? and then huh?
Oh, I was just going to ask if you ever made a video on why you lie to therapists.
On why I lied?
Yeah, because
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, you should write that one down. Because
I am.
I have never seen a video about that.
Because I mentioned it. I just made a video that's going to go up like relatively soon. That the audio's bad. I'm sorry, people. I know people keep yelling at me about it. But it's about like my experience with therapy. So it's basically just the story. But I didn't really say why I lied to him. That's a really good idea, actually.
Yeah, because I have people who say all the time, or and different groups, supposed to be groups that I lurk on and stuff, and they say that they lie to their therapist because number one, they don't want to get thrown into the rubber room and shit.
Yeah.
And
Grippy socks jail.
Yeah, and number two, I mean, that's what we do anyways to make people like us and be more likable. So we're supposed to, trust this stranger, and then we don't want them to judge us and shit. And I have no idea. I don't know how like your therapist talks to you. Like, does it seem like they are walking on eggshells around you? Or do they know how to speak to you in a way that makes you open up more? Or are they very tough lovey?
So when I first went in, I told her, you have to call me out on shit. Because I knew how I was in terms of like, oh, I am like, I'm going to hide shit. I'm going to justify shit, whatever. And so from there, like she continued to be not like super confrontational, but in a good way. She says nowadays that she was walking on eggshells more before I started being openly grandiose and she'll always say like, oh, I knew something was off like with our interactions and crap, but I just didn't know what. And I was like, no, you fucking didn't. You don't know what I do. I don't know how accurate it is, but whatever. I will say something I thought of like one of the reasons why I lied to her, and now it completely slipped my mind. Because the big reason I was doing it was just to like show people that I was trying to change, that I was growing, I'm responsible, blah, 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 which probably isn't the best way to go about therapy. Oh, fuck, I forgot what it was though. But anyway, after I was diagnosed, spent a while traveling, but Then I got committed to inpatient, which was fun.
How-
Huh?
What is inpatient all about? I have so many
Fucking
questions.
bullshit. No, it's just fine.
Tell
I've
me.
been through the ringer of mental health. So okay. So basically, I missed a day at drill for the Army, and this is going to sound so bad. I don't even know if I should say this. This is so bad. I'm afraid that some of them are going to see it. I kind of lied about a suicide attempt as an excuse, which, thinking back on it, not the best move. Got me committed to inpatient. I got in on Saturday. The entire time I was there, all I did was watch the second season of Stranger Things. They got me addicted to cigarettes again because they would just give them to us. And then like the third day was the first day I actually talked to the doctor. I didn't talk to him for 5 minutes. I talked to the case manager for like 30, and not even 30 minutes. It's like 15 minutes with her beforehand. And they were like, and they got on me because I was refusing to take mood stabilizers because I was like, I don't want to be sedated. Fuck you. And he was like, oh, we think you have bipolar. And I was like, I fucking don't. I've been diagnosed twice with NPD. And he was like, well, it takes like 6 times for somebody to get actually diagnosed with bipolar. And I was like, well, you're only my third, so maybe I should go find fucking 3 more. And I got into like this huge argument with him, and I got discharged for refusing treatment. Then after that, I got slapped with fucking $6,000 worth of, I think it was more than that, with medical bills because I was forced to go into inpatient. And that's around the time I started the channel because I was like, my life is a fucking wreck. I'm having trouble holding down a job because of all this crap. Just actually accepted truly I have NPD. I need somewhere to vent. And I vented, and eventually it took on more of a hue of, like, I saw how many people were reacting to it and thought it was interesting. So it took more on a hue of me talking about the research I've done because in order to understand myself. And to actually talk to people about their experiences and everything, try to build a community that's based around understanding as opposed to this resentment that everybody seems to have. And now we're here. Just hit 1,000 subs too. Amazing.
Yeah. Well, I know that I was very shocked that you had been around, your channel had been around several months before I saw you. I have seen you comment, on my things and stuff, but, I don't click on people's, profiles and stuff and go see if they actually have a channel, because usually the people that I would click on, it was to block, because they're being dicks.
I'm glad you didn't block me.
Well, when you came on and you're like, and you did say that you had a channel, I wouldn't have known. So that is, I'm glad that you fucking said something. You're like, yeah, I'm not here to promote. And I'm just like, well, I don't give a fuck, but let me go check you out, And that's when I was like, oh my God, finally somebody else, who's actually saying what's going on inside of us and not, just and not saying for me, like I would go around on TikTok, and try to find other cluster Bs and stuff.
Yeah.
And really, most of them are just they really have great editing, and they do fucking editing bullshit crap, like if they're in distress, but they don't talk. It's like all acting and shit, and I'm just like, really? Fuck, can you fucking talk about your life? Can you talk about, your actual experiences and stuff? Can you make people who say that they're these fucking magical creature empaths and shit, actually empathize with some of the shit that you're going through, And then a lot of a lot of men, are just, they want the self-esteem juice. I love that self-esteem.
I'm very proud of that one.
I love that because, narcissistic supply and fucking fuel.
Oh, that one pisses me off actively. I'm like, fuel, come on, man. They use a little creativity.
Yeah. Fucking Davey used fuel. Fucking Davey used fuel.
Davey, my dude, used fuel.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He used fucking fuel, and I'm like, oh yeah, you be watching, HG Tutor, or whatever. Tell me, what do you think about Dr. Romney?
Oh, this is going to be a contentious topic. Oh my gosh. So
Yes,
here,
I'm fucking happy that I have somebody who thinks about her the way that I do. So please share your thoughts.
I will, but very briefly. Have you seen Early Morning Barking?
Yes, I subscribed to
great.
him months ago. Yes, I like him.
Okay, I like him. I'm kind of annoyed with him because he kind of ignores me, but whatever. Anyways, but Dr. Romney. Okay, so I want to preface this with people who have been in relationships with toxic people who possibly have NPD. Who if you watch our channels, you're probably pretty accurate in that assumption. But Dr. Romney has a shtick, and that shtick is, I'm going to make these people more angry and resent the people that they were with instead of encouraging true healing. And she makes money off of it. I have a videos about it. Gain value from it, but to talk about narcissists, she talks about abuse. And though some of the things that she says, it does align with how like we can act in certain situations. It is the most non-nuanced, very limited view of us that anybody could have. So if you like Dr. Romney, I get it, but I really don't.
Yes, I was listening to her on what was it? When did I come up here? Friday? Thursday. I came up here Thursday. Thursday? Okay, Thursday. Yes, I came up here Thursday night. Okay, so I drive an hour and a half on the weekend to come and see my sweetie. And on the way up, instead of listening to music, I do YouTube. And so it'll just go through, file after file. And so I was listening to you, and whatever you were, you posted, the last two videos I didn't listen to. So I listened to those two. They went right after another. And then fucking bitch came up after you. And I was like, okay. So I'm driving. It's an hour and a half. So your videos are like 10 minutes each. And so it's like, okay, I burned 20 minutes now. Fuck. And then, her shit's like an hour. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to her shit. Cause I never really critiqued any of her bullshit. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to her stuff. And I'm going to see if she has anything fucking useful. But all of her shit was, she even admitted, she's like, yes, I cater to, demonizing the narcissistic person.
Interesting.
Yes. She didn't say it in those words, but that's basically what she's saying. She's like, I help people who have been in relationships with narcissists. And she says that she talks about all the bad shit, that she doesn't talk about the whys behind the bullshit. Now, I bought her book. Now, I know you're going to be disgusted. You hate that I fucking buy these fuckers.
A little bit, yeah. It's like, why give your money to them, of all people? Give it to me.
Yeah, I know. So I bought her book. Now, I didn't know that it was her book at the time because Dr. Romney, I thought that was her last name. And I think the book, correct me if I'm wrong, people, but it said Romney something. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's just a fucking dot fucking whatever, or whatever her nationality is, not to be a racist fuck, fuck her. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to read it. And then I realized it was her. I'm like, okay. But the first half of the book actually talked about what
I saw your video. Yeah,
what actually goes on. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe she's not, a piece of shit. And then the last half was demonizing us again. It's like, why don't you just fucking basically glue psychopathy free, next to the motherfuck,
Yeah.
I've read that book too. I read all the, the toxic shit books, but I've never actually read a book that was like, this is my fucking struggle and shit, except for a book on, I forget what it's called, but it's somebody who has sociopathy, so antisocial personality disorder.
Yeah.
Okay, under that umbrella, and so I was reading that, and she was talking about her everyday life and how she thinks of other people and fucking whatever. And I was like, oh, fine, this is great. This is actually a fucking good book and more. And then I'm finding more people on YouTube, and also psychopathy that's another one, because I wanted to learn about psychopathy. One reason was because I scored really high on one of those fucking tests, the dark triad. I'm like, yeah, I fucking do all that shit, man,
Oh yeah, that fucking like BuzzFeed fucking shit.
Well, it's like, I mean, I made a video on taking the,
Okay, 1 sec. There we go.
I made a video on taking
there
the psychopathy, the dark, psychopathy test or whatever. And because I wanted to, I wanted to, I mean, I have done really, fucked up things when I was younger, when I wanted to, project all of my shit onto somebody else, because I don't like sitting with it by myself. I need to get it out. So if I give it to you, I don't, I'm getting rid of it. I'm like throwing it up. If I'm causing you pain, then I don't have to fucking sit in it until later. It still comes back up, but at least I can get rid of it for a while. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So yes. So I have done, not known who I am, found out that I have traits of who I am, fucking read books to sharpen my skills of who I am, then fuck up people on purpose because of my self-hate, and then actually want to get better, have a good relationship with somebody who is not capable, emotionally cheating on my, husband, and losing everything and being like, okay, there's a problem. I need to not be this chaotic, mess. Not as in like emotionally unstable, just running around ruining people's lives, because I'm just a quiet fucking lurker, and just like wondering how I can get, ahead, but not with like hurting people. But I'm very sensitive to criticism at times with people like I'm working with, friends, family, sometimes, and of course my partner, which I've gotten fucking way better with too. So,
well, that's good to hear. If nothing else.
yes. Well, I mean, even having a partner who, understands his own behaviors and stuff, he's still going to be like, why the fuck are you doing that shit? Why the fuck are you?
Give me 2 seconds. Somebody said I was breaking up. I'm going to see if I can get closer to my router. And, and it's not as fucking spacey, I guess. Not.
You just go sit on the toilet. If that's helpful. We'll just take a shit with you. It's okay.
1 sec.
Oh, frozen too. What's going on? How are you? Am I frozen?
Okay.
I'm frozen. Okay. I'm on the big TV over here too, so I'm like, what?
All right. Now I can't see what people are saying about me. I'm self-conscious. Oh. There we go. Okay. Hopefully this is better. I want to like open this door too. You guys can see into my kitchen now. Well, not actually. Hopefully this makes it better.
Can you read any stuff I put up? Any questions? Not questions.
Yeah, I can read. It's the one that's up right now.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad that I could help you like that. I'm amazing. I know. I'm the best narcissist. But no, seriously, glad I could help. Like I know for me, it was so hard to accept my diagnosis just because I had like you go on these websites and it's like, oh, like I don't do this shit. This isn't me. Like, and then when I actually like read the research literature, I'm like, oh yeah, that is me. Oh fuck, I forgot my beer. I don't have much left. This is going to get so much harder once I can't numb the fact that there's a bunch of people watching me live.
It's okay. You're fucking awesome. Yeah. We were going to do a test before we went on to do this to make sure everything worked. And it was like, yeah, just for like 10 minutes or whatever. And almost 2 hours later, it's like, oh, we have to shut up.
We were on for almost 3 hours. We went on at like my time at 12:30, and then we got off around 3:30 or so. I was like, fucking Christ.
I know. And when we were like, oh, okay, we should save this for later. And then we're like, okay, but I have a question. Okay. And then, we like to talk a lot too. So
like we have to like interrupt each other to talk at all. I was so mad that we didn't record that because that could have been great for like some videos and stuff.
Yes. Well, I mean, we were getting pretty,
Oh yeah, we were saying yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, some stuff that maybe needed to be censored a little bit, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
But those are the NPD secrets right there. The lay people can't know that.
Yes. So tell me why did you get or feeling post-traumatic stress when you were working in the jail?
You want to hear some prison stories?
Well, I mean, why did it relate? It had to have related to your past, right? Because something triggered that inside of you. Was it like verbal or an actual physical altercation or being confined in a small fucking space every day, all the time?
It was that like, it was mainly that just like always having to be on alert all the time. Like you're just in this mindset of anything can pop off at any second. And I'm like, and it was like because when I was working there, it wasn't an issue. It was fine because I was like adjusted to it. As soon as I left though, I still had that mindset of like having to be alert. Even nowadays, if I see somebody get rowdy in public, like my heart starts racing, like my fucking fists clench. Once I reach for my fucking radio and I was like, oh wait, I don't have that right now. It was just very stressful. And I won't lie, I did things there that I am not proud of because there was this culture of like, and I think this fucked me up too, is like there was this hierarchical culture of like, if you're not getting into use of force, sorry, I can't fucking fix my hair in this fucking thing. If you're not getting to uses of force every fucking day, every chance that you get, then you're a worthless shitbag. And I kind of fell into that a little bit, not as bad as some of the guys there, but it made me do some things that I'm not super proud of. And let me put it this way. You would be surprised about how much a dude can bleed and not die. Like, holy shit. Ugh.
So you saw people getting shanked?
I remember once there was this guy who, oh God, there's a lot of things that happened. There's this guy once who he was a leader of the Aryan Brotherhood. And he was like because they have JPays there, so they can like basically FaceTime their loved ones and stuff. While he's on FaceTime with his mom, this guy comes up with a lock in his sock and just in the back of the head, fucking goes to the ground bleeding and shit. It was a whole thing. Yeah, I could go on. Honestly, I don't like to talk about it that much, and I can at a later point, but right now I'm like, I'm not in that kind of mood.
Do you when you see people who are not close to you get hurt, are you desensitized by it, or do you feel like you just compartmentalize it, and then it just comes up later, or how do you feel about that? Because with me, it doesn't faze me at all, unless it's a kid slapped in the face. Otherwise,
exactly. Children and animals are the only thing I have any sort of reaction towards. If I see like a dude, I can see a guy get stabbed, and other than me getting that adrenaline of like I have to do something, like it does not. Like before the prison, I could see shit like that, and I was just unfazed. I was like, well, fucking stuff breaks, people die.
Yeah. Also, yes. I don't give a shit when like tragedy strikes or anything. I'm just like, better you than me, dude. And I even told my my children and my ex-husband, I would say bad things happen to other people, not us. And I would I would always
I like that, honestly.
I mean, even though, I got a divorce and fucking fucked up that relationship, but
oh, I guess bad things do happen to us too. Fuck.
yes, but that wasn't like your house burning down, or a kid getting killed, things like that. Like so yes, I would use that motto, but this triggered another memory. Like when even though I was doing shady shit covertly, because it had nothing to do with my ex-husband at all, like me doing shady shit on fucking line and stuff, I wasn't even thinking about him at all. So it wasn't because of him that I was like, verbally, fucking around with somebody else or whatever, but oh my God, I totally forgot what I was gonna fucking say.
Well, I do think that's like fucking I think that's something that's so important to talk about, that when we do hurt people, it's so not personal to them usually, unless we're in like unless we're trying to because we're vindictive or something. Like when my like it's just like how we're trying to get our needs met in maladaptive ways. Like when I cheated on my ex with that person, it wasn't because I was like, oh, I need to get back at like my ex. It was like, this person is giving me because I had that past with her, this is satisfying my ego more or less.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's this sense always that, oh, everything people with NPD do is so calculated and like intentionally damaging. And it's not. Half the time we don't even know why we're doing it. Mm-hmm. I still don't know why I do half the things I do.
Yeah. Yes. And then people are, that's why, like with my cheating video, and I really liked yours too, the one where you were talking about it's not even a cheat, but actually making somebody else cheat with you, who's interviewed. I really like that video because I have talked to other narcissistic people who went after, a woman because they just wanted to see if they could take away, them from their partner, and that means I'm better than you.
Exactly. I prove I'm better than their partner right now because I'm able to take them from them. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yes. And
obviously not good, but yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I know. But I mean, I have also done that too. And, one of the things, even though, I try to talk about like, why we do the things that we do, I also try to warn men, and you should warn women, that, when somebody like us who does not understand why, really why we're just basically just being destructive because, we have no control over ourselves. So we're being very destructive. But you know, I tell men all the time, do not fall for the shit, because number one, I don't give a fuck about you. I am doing it for this reason.
Yep.
And you know, your life, you know, it's very important to me to take your brain away from your partner. I don't give a shit about touching you. I don't give a shit about having sex with you, nothing. But in the past, it was, if you thought about me more than your wife or girlfriend, then I felt, you know, my self-esteem juice went through the fucking roof, man. And then if you started to actually want me or as a replacement, I was like, no, I don't. I never wanted you, you know, for long-term nothing. I just wanted, it was like, you know, I just wanted my self-esteem juice to go up through the roof, and then bye, and then you know, go away.
It's so terrible because I want to clear up the fact that like not all people with NPD will do shit like this, but like I remember once I got this girl cheat on her boyfriend, and she broke up with him to be with me, and I was like, I don't want to be with you. You're a cheater, and that was fucking awful. But that was just like the mindset. It wasn't about it wasn't because I loved this person or anything like that. There has been times that has been the case, like once or twice. But it was just like, I just need to feel better about myself.
Yeah. And from your perspective, so say you got a woman to cheat with you, then from your perspective, you're not thinking about yourself, but you're thinking that this girl will cheat on you if somebody tried to come along and fucking do the same thing that you, right? Mm-hmm.
Like it's funny how this projection kind of works in terms of like, well, it's like projective identification basically, where it's like, oh, I'm putting you into this role, and now I almost resent you for this role, more or less, that I put you in. It's very, very funny. That's the thing I was thinking about earlier today, how if you ignore some of the damaging things about the disorder, how funny it can be. It's like, we won't know what our emotions are, so like we'll start crying. It's like, what emotion is this? And that's like hilarious. Oh my God. But yeah, it's like, it's just this great irony about how we handle ourselves in these situations, especially when we're not aware.
Yeah, identify, that would be a good video too. Not knowing how to identify your emotions, or like when you actually do.
When I discovered shame, it sucked.
Dude. Yeah.
It's like, can I just get angry again? Give me like 2 seconds. I forgot my fucking nicotine. Oh wait, never mind. I just dropped it and I forgot about it.
Of course, I always take breaks to go take a piss. So yeah. Okay, I have another question. When you said about okay, I don't know if you want to talk about your suicide attempt, but how about lying about suicide? I only want to bring this up because I do know that people, cluster B people, they do want to not be, you know, they want to unalive themselves for real. Yeah. And then some people do it for attention. They don't want to unalive themselves, but they do want their person to care about them enough to come to their rescue. And that's still not, you know, super malicious. It's just,
just not knowing how to get their needs met and shit.
Yes. And then there's the real fucking, you know, I want to off myself, and you actually do try and fail. So there's like those 3 components.
So for me, it was, first off, before I start anything, I want to point out that if anybody sees somebody with cluster B, like attempt suicide, and they suspect it's not legitimate, I want them to keep in mind that 20.4% of us end up killing ourselves. We actually have, like, we are more likely to die of suicide than from cancer. And there's also the added risk of heart disease and stroke. So I want it to be clear that of what I did here, I'm not proud of it. And that this isn't going to be every single situation. But it wasn't me trying to get emotional support in this situation. It was that I couldn't handle the shame going to drill because I felt very inadequate there because I was at like the bottom of the pecking order and I was late. And I was like, oh, fuck, everyone's going to fucking, do all this stuff. And I don't know why that felt like the right thing to do there because it wasn't even about emotional support. It was just like, this is a excuse where people aren't going to be so judgmental of me and it gets me out of it. It was a really not great move on my part, and I got put in inpatient. So obviously, I paid my dues in that way. I wish I could connect more with what my mindset was during that time because I was in a bad space during that time. But maybe subconsciously, I did want some sort of support, but cognitively, it didn't even occur to me. I don't know. It was a weird situation. I will say that most people at NPD, when they actually are intending to do that crap, it will be very well planned and very lethal, according to the research.
Yeah. I watched something on that very recently too. Do you think that being hospitalized from your threat or wanting to attempt that stopped you from future attempts? Do you think that would make you be like, okay, well, I need to research why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling a lot more. I have to sit in my pain and not go there because I don't want like that outcome again? Or would you?
It was, I guess it was along the lines of like, especially the monetary aspect of it, that because, shit's fucked up, that I had to pay so many bills towards it was the main focus of like, oh, I'm never going to do that again. But also it made me realize how incompetent a lot of the mental health institutions really are, because it's like, oh, I literally got nothing out of this, sank all this money into it. Honestly, it made it very clear that if I'm going to kill myself, I'm not going to fail at it. Because of how these institutions are run and how just they are not effective most of the time, which I think is kind of one of the worst takeaways I could have made from that. But it's like, if I did try to kill myself and I wasn't successful, I would just be, whatever situation I was in would become 9 times worse by the consequences of it.
How would you, if you could talk to somebody like the head of the mental health fucking whatever the fuck, and they were put in charge of helping people like us, what would your suggestions be to go about helping us? Like, what are some like things that you think would tips or fucking thoughts that we should be kind of ruminating about? I watched this video on fucking how to help us get more empathy, okay, and a lot of therapists are thinking that that's the fucking way. And one thing was connecting to our younger selves. And I know that that is re-traumatizing ourselves, and I'm not going there. I don't give a fuck. I would rather never have empathy and connect on an empathetic level with anybody the rest of my fucking life than ever have to go back to that place ever in my life. So fuck that.
I heard it. I saw really a post that kind of resonated with me on Reddit recently. And it was somebody with NPD calling their inner child their dead child, more or less. And I'm like, fuck, that hit right. Because people tell me that fucking self-love shit all the time. I'm like, it doesn't fucking make sense to me. I don't get it. Like, it just does not connect. And so I went in, but like, getting back to the question before of what I would tell mental health professionals is mainly, one, treat us like people, for fuck's sake. Inpatient was hell in that regard. But the second one is, when they tell you something, trust it, because they probably know themselves better than you're going to know them, obviously. We're not these like just animals who can never self-reflect, never be aware of what's going on in their heads and crap. Like, how many times have I been told that like just by like lay people especially, oh, like, narcissists can't be self-aware, blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, no, that's not true. We're not fucking just people that are, we're not just like machines just going out throughout the world just fucking shit up. We're like still people, even if we can hurt people sometimes. It's ridiculous. Other than that, it's just like the flaws in the mental health system seem so pervasive that it's hard to even pinpoint the exact things that are wrong, if I'm being honest, at least with inpatient institutions. I think outpatient can be very helpful for a lot of people, especially. Most government things are not great.
How's outpatient? Is there any specific thing that like your therapist helped you figure out about yourself that was really helpful for you? Like any big specific thing?
The biggest thing, honestly, was realizing that not everybody operated like I did. Like I remember once, like I was lying about something more or less, and I admitted to it. And she was like, well, why did you do that? And I explained to her the long, convoluted, like logical process in order to come to that lie and why I was trying to present myself in a certain way. And she was like, why did you do that? And I was like, oh, fuck, why did I do that? Don't you do that too? And then she was like, no. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, you're the weird one, not me.
Do you remember what you don't remember what that fucking thing was? You don't remember?
It was such a minute detail. I don't remember what it was exactly. Yeah, I'm not gonna remember it.
Well, with me, yeah. I mean, how you say like I have not always been aware. I've not always been aware of my stuff. So like when people are saying, you know, are you aware? That's why I've gone through stages of awareness. It's like I remember it was my 13th birthday, and I said something so fucked up to this girl, and my cousin said, you know, she called me out on saying the fucked up thing right after I said it. And that's when, like, you know, I was like, oh, fuck, I have to protect myself, you know, from feeling shame for saying the fucking thing. And of course I said, I was only joking. I was only joking. You know, that is the best defense I felt as a kid. I mean, it doesn't fucking work as an adult. It's fucking stupid as shit.
I decide whether I'm joking or telling the truth after I say the thing. I get reactions.
It's always an after effect, but I do believe in the you're too sensitive bullshit. I believe that 100%. When people say, oh, a narcissist will say you're too sensitive, it's like, motherfucker, you are. But this goes along with the thing that you say that people don't think like us, because we grew up being, I mean, specifically you and I, you know, beat. Okay, so we were beat. So, and whatever sarcastic comments or fucked up things that were said to us, you know, we were not the golden children. We were not put on a pedestal. We were fucking, you know. And so just having things that we say that are normal to us, and then being fucking pussies about it, and me saying, are you fucking kidding me right now? That's where I would not understand them. I would not understand them. I thought that's when I'm just like, you mean your heart is not calloused up like mine? You know what? What? You know? And I had to realize, and I did not realize this until later in life, that no, people were not. They don't have a calloused up heart, and things that you say are actually hurtful. But I did not realize that until, you know, not that long ago. You know, I'm just like, okay, life is a shit sandwich. Do you watch the fucking news? Now, I don't fucking cry watching the news. I'm like,
somebody once told me they were crying about the kids in Syria, and I'm like, fucking what?
yeah. And I'm just like, I would be totally fucking happy to paint the world red, white, and blue. I fucking have said that. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
The world seems cruel as shit. Like,
Yeah, but I don't care, because why? Bad things happen to other people. Now, it's not because I'm fucking privileged. I didn't grow up with fucking, money being thrown at me and shit. I've always been the tomboy. I've never been no, not transgender and all that fucking bullshit. But I've never been they need to wear the fancy nails and have nails and shit and everything. No, that has never been me. But yeah, it's like people suffering all around the world. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't. I'm thinking of number one. I'm thinking of me, and that's it. So
See,
yeah.
it's super interesting to me because like I hold that view of like, oh, everyone's so sensitive and shit like that, and I'll get almost angry when people have such an issue with some of the things I say. But on the other hand, and something I didn't realize until like a few months ago, was I'm like, wait a second, I'm just as sensitive as them, but only when it pertains to me. Like if somebody like throws an insult our way, we fucking react like so over the top. And it's there is a level of hypocrisy with it that I find hilarious. But there's also truth to the fact that, like, to me, I look at the world and I'm like, fucking the world's fucked. Who gives a crap? And like the amount of reaction that people show just does not like register. Like over time, I've learned that like, okay, yeah, this is how people react to it. I have to be sympathetic to that. Blah 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 blah. But like, there's just, I don't know, like how, like when people just start crying about shit, I'm like, why? I don't understand. I don't.
Yeah. Yes, I if it's not if it okay, so I think that it's because I cannot connect empathetically to other people. I do in my head, but it's selective. Okay, so
Yeah.
If something fucked up, there's an earthquake, people died, and then people like contributing money. You know what? I have contributed money to my kids' school, so I look good in front of my children and whoever saw me donate.
Yeah.
Don't give a flying fuck. And I would rather keep that money and buy fucking booze for myself or fucking an order of pizza. I don't give a shit. And it's just I have a block. It's just also, I mean, I've done way too much research in charities and shit to know that the money fucking barely there. So I'm kind of like, yes, I'm justifying my fuck you, dude. No way.
Because because like I've done it too, where I donate to charities just so I can feel better about myself and show other people that I am like a good person. Blah 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 blah. Which does bring up an interesting conversation where it's like, okay, does it matter that we're doing it for selfish reasons? You know what I mean? It's like these people are still getting the money, and hopefully it's going towards a good place. Like, is there a huge distinction between us doing it selfishly and other people doing it genuinely altruistically? Because we aren't capable of doing things genuinely altruistically, Jesus, most of the time. So would you prefer us just be assholes, or would you prefer us to basically use good things as a basis for our self-esteem regulation?
Yes.
Some people have issues with that. I don't get it.
I have to take a piss.
So do I, actually. We'll let everybody talk shit about us in the meantime.
Everybody go pee. Okay. Yeah. Dr. Ramen Noodle is a narcissist as well. Yeah, she's fucking sucks, man. Yeah, Lisa. Woohoo! Yeah. I like Disneyland. What are you talking about? People fucking hate Disneyland. Hey, NaMeLeSs, do you hate Disneyland?
Not particularly. Why would I? I guess I hate Disney as a company, but like, I don't.
Yeah,
I want to go to Disneyland.
I fucking love Disneyland. I mean, hello, if we're, you know, emotionally stunted, that's our place, right? We get to fucking, you know, have fun.
I can pretend to be a kid for once.
Yes, I love that shit. Okay, so we were talking about, oh God, I wrote, there's something I wanted to ask about masking.
Oh yeah.
So like, remember when we were talking about people should basically be grateful that we're masking up for them? Okay. Oh, so like the things that we do for other people, like giving money to charities or doing charity type things, is benefiting somebody else. Who gives a fuck if we're doing it for our own self-esteem? Somebody else is benefiting. And the same thing for when we're masking up for coworkers, partners, family, anybody, right? If we are masking up, if we're doing, even though that we're still struggling inside or being, you know, not 100% authentic, shouldn't fucking, they should be grateful. They should be grateful.
That's the thing.
To make them happy. We're trying to make them happy so we can keep the relationship, you know, fucking at baseline, or, you know, so they don't fuck with us or shit on us or complain to us and just fucking leave me alone or leave me alone. That was another thing is, you know, I would try to do as much to make my ex-husband happy so he would leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Of the day or whatever. And it felt like punching a time clock, yes, but I'm doing this, you know, and a lot of normies will think, you know, that that's not enough. You need to feel it. You need
that's what frustrates me. So, for example, I had this, like I've mentioned this a couple times before, because of my lack of effective empathy, but my intact cognitive empathy, I would act as a de facto therapist, listening to my fucking friends' problems and giving them advice. I couldn't give two shits. Most of the time I was like, this is fucking stupid. Like, why are these the things going through your head? I don't get it. But in order to make me feel better with myself, I would give them this advice. They would praise me in return. Win-win. I didn't, oh God, 20% battery left. That's not good. But like, it'll give me another warning when it's at 10% and hopefully we can figure something out. But from there, it was like it's, if I were to tell them that, maybe this is irrational, but I feel like they would be very not happy about it. But like, we're both winning. We're both benefiting from not only my pathology, but like, well, basically my pathology. We're both benefiting from it. So because I wouldn't get overwhelmed by the extreme emotionality that they're showing, like other people would. So it's like, if I'm the only one able to handle it, but I don't genuinely care the way you expect me to, obviously at some level I care, because even if it's more of a selfish way, but like, I can't connect to the issue with that people have with that, I guess.
Yeah.
We really are just neglecting the chat.
Well, yeah, that's why I think like, you know, I have, like when people cry or they're upset, I know that giving them a hug is going to make them feel better. Do I care about why they're crying? No. Do I care about fixing their problem? No. Unless it was going to, make me feel better about myself. But usually it's just like, please stop crying. And I know that this is part of the process, because holding someone when they're in pain is going to help them move further. And it's not like I'm like with coworkers, I'm having anxiety. With my own daughter crying, or my son, I actually, because I give a flying fuck, I do give a shit about my children, and I want them to feel my care. It's very important for me, for them to know that I give a shit, and I don't want them to be in pain. So it's different from my kids to like a coworker, somebody outside of myself, or my partner. My partner and my children, they're mine. Okay, I'm very possessive. So I want them to feel that they are safe. They need to feel safe in my,
when it's like they're my people, like I have a responsibility to take care of them.
Basically. Yes, like I know that you have felt that way towards your friends, and you have been very and you protect your group. So your circle is protected by whatever, and you're gonna fuck up anybody who fucks with your people, and that's how I feel too. So even though I want my people to know that I care about you, will be in the moment and everything. And I know that even though, I might not like that you're feeling that emotion, it's important to me that you understand that I give a shit about you. You feel your thing, and I know that you're going to work your way through the thing. So, I'm not a fucking monster. It's ridiculous. It's fucking so stupid. Do you give a shit about your kid? Yeah, I fucking care about my kid. Now, there is one thing. I don't, because my kids are older, okay, and they're not little, and they're not with me all the time, that I don't think about them all the time. They're not around me all the time. When they were, I thought about them all the fucking time, taking care of them and shit like that, because I did the opposite. I told you that before, that I wanted to be the opposite of like how our parents were, right? So I did the extreme opposite. But now that they're older and stuff, they're not on my mind all the time, because they're not in my face all the time. So it's not that I don't care about them, but they're not there. So,
I do think, I think that's an important thing to touch on, though, of like, we care about people, but not in the way that other people do. And I feel like that distinction is blown up to a point that is not fair to what our personal experiences are. Because if I do care about somebody, I'm willing to protect them in that way. That is the extent of care I can feel. And effectively, it can be almost the same, even maybe sometimes worse, if I'm willing to go to bad extremes or do self-sacrificing self-enhancement. But like, I hate the idea that it's like, narcissists can't care, blah, blah, blah. It's like, who are you to define what caring means? You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, that's the whole love thing.
Yeah.
Do you love? And then that gets into the whole meeting somebody that you're actually infatuated with, Yeah. And then, the people, I've only, a handful of people that I have, been infatuated with and enmeshed with, and I'm pushing my own, fantasy thinking onto them and shit. And then make story, it's like, and then that's not fair to them. I know that now, but back then I was like, fuck you. You're not fucking, you're not following the fucking script I gave you, motherfucker. And so, you're fucking replaceable, and I will go and find somebody else. This was all unconscious. it's not like, you know, when people are like, oh, there's a fucking stage, the fucking love bombing stage, the fucking, what's the other fucking three? I know that there's the
But yeah, then discard or some shit. It's like, yeah, I'm not going into relationships being like, oh, I'm going to love bomb them so I can get then I'm going to devalue you for some reason and then discard. No, it's fucking like, I am genuinely idealizing you. I think you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. I am just obsessed with you. And then eventually you start kind of deviating from what I was making you up to be in my head. And I get frustrated and I devaluate you because like I realize that you're an actual person and not just some perfect person I put you on a pedestal.
Yes.
And I eventually break up. And
yes.
I didn't even like fully understand how that happened until I reached out to an ex of mine. And she was all like, she was cruel. She was like, I know you would be contacting me if you didn't have something to gain. I was like, fuck you, bitch. You don't know who I am anymore. But she kept saying something along the lines of like, I'm my own person. Like, I'm not just part of your life. And I was like, what the fuck does she mean? It made me realize how I kind of put people into roles that I need in my life to feel like, to fit the narrative that I wanted. Like in her case, it was like, oh, this is a perfect innocent person, and I'm just like, you know, a useless rake. I have my Romeo and Juliet situation with my borderline. And then like, I dated this NPD girl for a little bit. Well, didn't date her officially, but effectively did. And it was like, oh, this is finally somebody who's like me, who will understand me, blah, blah, blah. And I recognize how it's unfair to people nowadays and how I'm not viewing them fully. But it was never like I am doing this for the purpose of taking advantage of you or anything like that.
I have a story, but I want to ask you.
Ooh.
Have you ever idealized someone and then recognized the moment that you were like, fuck?
Recently, I realized it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I made something up for this fucking person. And now, even though that you're almost conflicted, you're like, I hate this fuck. I hate this fuck because they're not following what I wanted them to be, but you also knowing that you did that to them.
Oh, okay. So that one, well, okay, interesting. Cause I'm trying to think now. Because recently I realized I was idealizing somebody. I don't think I ever caught myself when it came to the point that I was like, they weren't fitting my narrative, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Because recently there's this person in my life who I have like viewed as like and I realized I was effectively using her as the psychoanalytics put it, a narcissistic extension, where by me basically saying that she's the best person in the world and I'm very close to her, this was me basically telling other people, oh, I'm somebody to admire because I'm friends with such a virtuous person. And I was putting her up on a pedestal. And recently I realized I was doing that. And I was like, fuck. I shouldn't be doing that. And I had a conversation with her about it, and nothing has really changed, more or less. And I'm not really sure how to go about it now. But no, I haven't. I've never been like, oh, I am devaluating this person in the moment, at least.
I've had now this person came after me, and I was like, ha ha ha, they don't know who they're fucking with. Yeah. You know, but you know, I loved it. So I was like, yeah, you know, and it with this person, he put his wife on a pedestal, and I could not infiltrate his fucking brain enough to rip him away from her. And it took me a couple months to realize that his boundaries are too fucking strong. I couldn't deal with this motherfucker. So it's
almost like he has a healthy relationship.
He was fucking narcissistic, let me tell you what. But he used that as his platform. His platform was, I'm a fucking good husband and father.
So that's where his like self-esteem regulation came from.
Yes. He was getting just so much attention off of social media, posting about his family and everything, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, so to me, I was like, this is a challenge. This is a challenge to see if I can get him away from everything that he's putting on a pedestal. And I couldn't fucking do it. I was so fucking pissed. Now, he was still coming around all the time, but I could not get him away. And that it fucking okay, so it pissed me off so much that I fucking got rid of him and I just quit talking to him. I went back after 5 years. Okay, this is why I tell people that, you know, we're gonna come back if we want to. It's not guaranteed. It's if we want to try again, right? And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna try again. So we were part of the same group on Facebook, and you know, I unblocked him. You know, the reverse Hoover, whatever. And
it means,
yeah, it's fucking stupid, but I've been doing this fucking forever because I'm old as shit. So anyway, so I'm doing this fucking thing. Anyway, so I do get him back, and I'm able to get him, you know, mentally away from his wife and shit like that. But he was still like, he was so conflicted and all this fucking crazy crap going on. I knew, you know, in that moment that, you know, okay, so I'm trying to take him away from the thought of his wife and everything like that. Great. I have him and everything. Now I'm fucking bored. It's like, okay, I waited fucking 5 years of my life to get back into this person's life to see if I could do the thing. And I was able to do the thing. But while
to solve the complex, basically.
But while I was in there, you know, I was still excited, you know, to do the thing.
Yeah.
I was going to leave my husband, but I wanted to see if I could do the thing. I was going to be happy that I did the thing, but I realized how much I really fucking did not like this person. I really didn't like
Oh my God. I have relatable. Give me like 2 seconds because I need to see if I can plug in my phone and see if the audio is still okay.
Okay. We're out of happy water, baby.
All right, let's see. Is my phone charging? Can you hear me at all?
Yes.
Is it like okay?
Yes. I actually haven't heard any scratchy shit either. You freeze. You're freezing. I need to take a picture of this and send it to you.
Let me make sure.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Okay.
It should be cool now.
Okay.
We're fine. I swear. No, but like it's funny because like I had a similar situation that was like, well, I was with somebody or trying to get somebody who I developed this huge complex over, thinking like, oh, this is the perfect person for me. I need them. I got like super irate when they weren't like, what's the word? When like they were with other people, being like, oh, they should be with me. I should be able to get them. Why is that person better than me? And then it got to a point that I finally I got them in a certain way, and I realized I was like, wait, this person fucking sucks. Why did I have this horrible complex needing to satisfy this insatiable ego of mine? And it was very eye-opening into what I need to look for in people and how I should operate myself in situations like that. But yeah.
Were they popular? Were they popular?
They were coveted by a lot of people. I'll say that. They were very attractive.
Yeah, that was one thing is the person that I was targeting back then was very popular, and like when people are like, oh, you just want fucking broken people and people easy to, but no, that's fucking a lie. And I'm not saying that that doesn't happen with other people, because I have seen that happen. I mean, I've I like seeing people or friending people and not targeting them, but friending people who are like depressed and sad and stuff, because they're going to think that there's something really great about me being funny and shit and fucking whatever, you know.
The people that want to save people effectively.
Yeah, but well, not even that. They're like fucking super broken. It's like they don't know that they're cluster B shit and they're fucking just like really down in the dumps and stuff. And it's just like, I'm going to scoop you up because at least I'm going to bring you some sunshine because you're always sitting on social media all the time. So I'm just going to fucking joke around, or I make up elaborate stories and stuff, or fucking really dark shit, you know, and fucking serial killer shit, or fucking horror movie shit. Because, you know, I love horror movie shit. And so, yeah. But my favorite people are if you are popular. And it doesn't, you don't have to be like well liked. You can be well hated. And I'll think you're fucking awesome too, you know, just because my first husband, he was like the town fucking drug dealer, fucking criminal. That was my first husband. I was like, even though that you're
the bad boy.
Yes, even though that you're not, you know, popular in a good way, you're popular in a bad way. But I know that he believes that I'm the fucking abuser because he wouldn't yell at me. He never laid hands on me. He was just lost and always like doing drugs and stuff like that. And I was the bitch and the fucking fuck you, you know, for not doing what I want and stuff like that. And I think, and I'm the one that left him. I found my second husband and I fucking tossed his ass. And I'm just like, you're nothing, dude. Bye. But I was like, I was 21. How old are you, Jacob? Nameless. I thought you were like,
Okay, that's it's super funny though, because like I'll often have people on my channel be like, Nameless, you said your name. You gotta edit that out. And I'm like, guys, I said it on my second video. I appreciate the sentiment, but like it's a done deal. No, I'm 23.
Okay. I thought you were I thought you were 22, but 23. Okay. Now,
I was 22 when I started the channel, so it makes sense.
Oh, there you go.
Well,
I have a daughter who's 21 and a son who's 27, who's going to be 28. I do have I don't know if you've ever experienced any of this shit, but I have talked to women, borderline women who are old, my age, who are messing with men your age, narcissists your age. Have you ever? Yeah. Now, I don't have a lot of people coming to me usually wanting to talk to me because I call them pedophiles and shit. Only because you know, I have a son who's 27. So if you are, you know, not in your late 30s and you're in your 40s, I'm going to call you a fucking pedophile because it's fucking, just to me, it's fucking disgusting because you're fucking a kid. And
like and a kid who's like fucked in the head who hasn't figured out how to handle their shit yet. Like fucking crap. It's like, because there is as you get older, that age range increases, right? But I mean, hell, think of like somebody in college dating a high schooler or something like that. That's fucked up. No matter if it's just like fucking 6 years or something like that. Oh, that's fucking awful. Wait, also, somebody said Jacob the Proud. I'm curious how they know that because I have multiple social medias with that name. And I'm really worried that it wasn't just my email. Oh my God. Speaking of, we should probably read some of these chats. Like fucking a lot has been going on in there.
Well, one thing that I find funny is, I mean, you're going to be exposed. So you're exposed. And what's funny is, you know, my sweetie, who is in a band, and he's also, you know, he's very doesn't want to be exposed like on social media. I'm like, you're in a band, dude, and you started dating somebody who wants to, you know, have like a million
publicly, yeah,
eventually, and you know, I want him a part of my shit. So it's like, pick a side, bro. You're gonna be fucking popular. You're going to be, because there is not a lot of people, or at least that I have not seen, of us actually saying what's going on up here. It's not, you know, yes, I've done fucked up things when I was not aware. Yes. I've done fucked up things when I was aware. And yes, I'm trying not to do fucked up things now that I understand why I did the bad shit. You know what I mean? Can I fall back into the dark space? Yes. If something happened to my sweetie, say he fucking died tomorrow, I would be so distraught and fucking upset. I might, you know, burn down the fucking planet. I might turn into fucking Darth Vader, dude.
yeah.
You know, because I'm so upset and distraught and I don't know how to deal with my shit, or I don't even want to deal with my shit. Right. So, yeah. I can only live in the present moment. Right.
See, it's really funny to me because it's like, I will literally. Oh, hello. I don't know what just happened.
Sorry.
Oh, there we go. I was like, oh, I guess I'm just doing this stream by myself now. Hi, guys.
I'm sorry. I hit the wrong goddamn button. I hit the wrong button. Damn it.
Gotcha. No, like literally, I'm like, because when it comes to being exposed like that, I'm like, okay, you know, my name's Jacob. You know, I live in Ohio. I'll literally tell somebody, given most of my friends know that I have NPD. At this point, I don't give a shit. It's like, yeah, I live in Ohio. I will literally tell you the city because come try to find me. There is like 100,000 people living here. To me, it just at this point just doesn't matter. If I had, I guess in your partner's case, it does matter a little bit more just because it's like, oh, you're in a band, so like people could have opinions on you due to that. But for me, it's just like fucking who cares? Unless you're going to come to my house and like murder me, whatever.
No, my partner has to not care. He has to not care because, you know, with our thinking, we're going to be, you know, top dog, right? I mean, there's only so many of us who are actually saying what's going on in our head that is against those fucking assholes, those fucking victim channels. I fucking hate them so much. The whole reason I started this fucking channel was because I fucking hate victim channels. Now, I would go on the victim channels and I told NaMeLeSs this, that I would go on victim channels when I was very upset about losing another cluster B partner, and watching how much pain that the victims were in. I fucking love that shit. I was like, yay, you're not going to forget me. Even if you're going to think bad about me, it's better than not thinking about me at all.
It feels like when we leave, it feels like literally I would go to drill and I'd be afraid that my friends would fucking forget about me. It feels like as soon as we're not around that like nobody's going to care or have any thoughts about us. We're just so insignificant to them that it's over. It's horrifying in a way.
Yes. And just the whole even though that I can have
I'm sorry, 1 second. This is actually a real life friend right here. Hi Tommy. I hope you're still on the stream. Wait, maybe I shouldn't have said your name actually. Sorry.
But even when I would go to victim channels and I'd be, oh, good, fucking, they're not going to forget about us. Even when I started my channel, I was still thinking I'm going to be forgotten. It's like dueling thoughts or something, you know? It's like, because if I'm not constantly watching victim channels, if I'm not constantly, as soon as I remove myself from them, I think that I'm forgotten, you know? And until I was doing my channel, you know, people telling me, you're not going to be forgotten. You're not going to be, hello,
Yeah.
I'm in pain. This is why. And I'm just like, okay, good. Not that I'm like, okay, good, you're in pain necessarily, but just don't fucking forget me. And now it used to always be like, you have to be in pain or you're not going to forget me, you know? It's like, that's the connection that I had. And now I know that at least because of our lack of object constancy, how we don't connect to the of the past, normal people do connect to the feeling.
Which blows my fucking mind.
Yes, I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what that feels like to have that, you know, connection to your past.
It's why I can't comprehend when somebody cuts me out. Oh, sorry. When somebody cuts me out, they still care about me. Like in my mind, I'm like, that's impossible. If you cut me out, you hate me, or at best, or you just have not. I have not affected you all, and you just do not care.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I hate it.
Yes, unless I am re-traumatized, you know, by someone where I connect to that feeling, I don't have that feeling. Now, it doesn't mean that I forget you. I have memories. I remember you. I may, you know, make up false memories about shit that happened with you, but I still remember you. I just don't have the emotional connection to my past. And I think that's what's so like people don't understand. I try to tell people all the time. It's like, I remember, you know, our timeline. I remember what I went through with all of my people, you know, it's just, I don't have the feeling connection that you have. And people are like, you know, you keep cycling back to me. And it's like, well, what are you doing for me? And I need people. So, you know, not that they should wear a badge of honor or a fucking crown that, you know, I'm coming back to use them, but, you know, you are wanted because there was something that you gave me that was important. So you get to do with whatever the fuck you want with that information. But this is why I'm just like, it's better for them to stay away, you know, from this, so I can hit rock bottom, figure out what the fuck is going on with me, so I can build myself up. Because don't you tell me this, do you think that our past people who are still connected to us enablers?
That's an interesting, it depends on the relationship that we have with them, in my mind. Like there's some, I would say no for the most part, because they're coming at it from an angle that is like how they would deal with the situation, right? If they're aware of how we operate and that like I'm probably coming back to you for my self-esteem regulation and stuff, then in that way, yeah, they probably are enablers because they keep this cycle going and I'm not working on my shit. But most of the time they're probably thinking, oh, well, I don't really know what they're thinking, but they're probably coming at it from an angle that they would be, as opposed to the angle that we'd be coming from it, to it from. Jesus.
Well, I think the people who do watch our stuff and the ones that are trying to work on their shit, I do believe, because I was there too. It's like I am the toxic people that I were involved with in the past. I knew that it would be healthier for me to not fucking talk to these motherfuckers, but I gave more importance on my self-esteem juice than to actually move on and be, you know, in a healthier state. Plus, I thought, you know, I'm a dark fuck already. I mean, you know, I've always thought that, you know, I'm this, there's something that's darker than normal anyways than, the regular motherfucker on the planet, which I think that, other people are boring and fucking lame. Now, is this real? No, it's just my perspective. To me, I grew up in chaos and everything was drama. Our life is a soap opera.
We
like,
get bored easy.
yes.
Yeah, it's funny before I became any degree self-aware, and I thought those things about people of like, oh, I'm different than people. I was like, oh, well, I'm just smarter than all of them. That's why I'm different the way I am. It was very, very funny. Also, somebody just said, why would a narcissist wear the same clothes every day? And I wear literally the same outfit almost every day. Found it very entertaining. Maybe that is a narcissistic trait right there.
Well, I like buying, I have probably like fucking, I don't know, 50 different t-shirts. And every time that I'm going through my t-shirt section for my video, because I need to know, okay, this video is different than the next, right? I don't know how the fuck you do it, but I have to be like, okay.
I have a lot of black shirts.
And so I'm like, okay, and then I look, I'm like, okay, which video didn't I do yet? And then it's like, okay, I didn't do that one because I didn't wear that t-shirt, and the other fucking thing. So that's how I fucking, do my shit. But yeah, I mean, I love horror. And I was talking to somebody who actually produced horror movies. And
Interesting.
Well, no, he produced a horror movie and he was like, I don't want to do this because, of his empathetic nature and stuff. And he was just like, I don't want people to be all happy about killings and shit. And I'm like, oh my God, that was such a good fucking movie. It was fucking great. I don't give a flying fuck. When I'm sad, I watch horror because I love watching people get killed. I love it. It makes me happy. I bring joy and I'm fucking, I'm very happy watching people suffer. I love that shit. Stay away from fucking children. But, I mean, if you're a teenager in a fucking, a horror movie,
See, I wouldn't say I enjoy watching people get killed, but I think it's interesting. Like I'm like looking at it being like, oh, like, how realistic is this scene of somebody getting murdered and stuff like that? Because I'm not sitting there being like, oh, fuck yeah, killing. But I'm like, okay, how is this panning out? And I do find myself often rooting for the villains just because, I don't know. Have you ever seen the movie Hush?
Yes.
Okay,
that's
the fucking serial killer in that movie. Huh?
The deaf woman, right?
Yeah, that entire movie, I was fucking rooting for the serial killer just because I'm like, this guy's funny as shit, and it's kind of interesting how he goes about this and crap. Like, I just remember he killed some dude, and he went into his pocket, took out, like, this pack of cigarettes, and was like, oh, come on now, John, these are going to kill you. And I'm like, oh, quality. And also the deaf woman was stupid as shit. I think it's just the fact that we identify more with the fact that we would rather be an abuser or a monster rather than somebody who's a victim empathetic. It's like, it's impossible for us to sympathize with somebody who's not like taking an initiative to fight back. Because that's never been in my nature. I've never been like, oh, I'm just going to fuck. I have never victimized myself most of the time because that's just like, I don't know. There's something inherently disgusting about that to me. So I think that makes the bad people far more appealing than the people who are like, oh my God, oh, this hurt me so much, blah, blah. Like, oh my God, how could you do that to my family? It's like, fuck off. Kill him then.
Well, does it ever disgust you when people talk about vulnerable narcissists and then people who actually use their create victimhoodness illnesses or they want to look weak to get help? The only time I've ever done that is to manipulate my mother only for money.
Yeah. Oh, I feel that actually. Oh, shit.
I was a victim or anything. You know, I was just like, I'm doing this thing to get what I want. But to me, seeming weak is so disgusting that I see either other people as fucking lower life forms, or if somebody tries to push that narrative onto me, and I get that ping of either shame or self-loathing.
Oh yeah, when people are like, "Oh my god, this been so hard for you," I'm like, "Please be quiet." I don't want to fucking see. Okay, vulnerable narcissism. This is super interesting. I have a whole tangent about this because I hate when people are like grandiose and vulnerable narcissists, because neither of those constructs actually exist. It's based on how our self-esteem regulation is going. We'll flip back and forth between grandiosity and vulnerability. Interesting fun fact, though. A lot of clinicians, and I don't agree with this personally, think that borderlines are just vulnerable narcissists, which I can see where the victimization thing kind of comes in with borderlines, because no offense to my borderlines out there, but there is more of a tendency to view yourself as a victim if you have borderline personality disorder. So I think when people observe vulnerable narcissists, quote unquote, they're not observing that, they're observing a borderline, and they don't know anything fucking about borderline. So they're like, oh, this person's treating me bad. They must be a. Anyways, I think is it good now?
Did you notice that? Did you notice that you were skipping? Did you not? I have to go to the bathroom again.
Yeah, like fucking.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Somebody tried to call me and like it went black for a second. Like, oh fuck.
Oh, okay. Okay. Keep talking.
Was I in the middle of something when I was talking?
Yeah, you were talking about vulnerable narcissism. Keep talking. I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
I gotta go.
Sounds good. I'll like go entertain the audience. Hey guys, I'll actually look at some of your guys' messages because we've been neglecting you guys. Let's see. Oh, guest star John Stamos. Thank you. I appreciate. I actually like. I loved Full House as a kid. That's the same guy, right? Oh man, it's gonna be super embarrassing if that's not the same guy. Fuck. But yeah, I fucking loved him as a kid. I was trying to emulate him all the time. Him and Han Solo, basically. CPSD is subclinical BPD. That's interesting. I personally, I view all personality disorders as extreme manifestations of CPTSD, actually. But that's a very personal opinion of mine. I'm trying to. Is anybody giving any more messages? See you two live. Does it only have negative motions dysregulated? Interesting fun fact. I read a study about pathological narcissism and how it presents in men and women. Apparently, the men are way more emotionally dysregulated than the women, and they concluded based on that it's because it's less distressing to be dependent on people because of the cultural associations with women, as opposed to men, where it's a little bit more disdained. But I don't know. That was just their conclusion. I don't know about in reality. How are you, man? Are you talking to me? Yeah, I'm good. I'm okay. Why are you assuming I'm not? I'm scared. You ask me, am I okay? I'm always okay. At least that's what I want you to think. That's misogyny. Yeah, probably. That's just what the study said. I didn't draw any actual conclusions about it. Let Sarah talk. Fuck you. I'm entertaining as shit. You wore white the other day. Yeah, I wore white because of a special video and I was out of black shirts, okay? I used to wear white all the time. People aren't saying enough stuff. I'm upset.
Well, that's just because we're talking. And I mean, it's really, to me, interesting, to understand. I also want to resonate, with the things that you are going through. Then I don't feel like I'm by myself, like,
Again,
like I told you, like going on the narcissistic chat group, I was like, oh fuck, finally, you know, I fucking have a community, right? Where I can talk to. Now you said that you went on Reddit, right? And that you found a bunch of fucking community people that you can resonate with. And yes, and then putting on my mythical dream board of wanting a partner who was also a cluster B, who would understand my shit and at least you know, and I got what I wanted to. So
Good for you, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fuck. When you go on fucking dating sites, it is filled with cluster Bs. I am sure, dude. And so I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna find my fucking forever person on there, or you know, whatever. And I was just like, because now that you are on YouTube too, so you are out in the spotlight. You can't hide your shit. You cannot. So if you're going to be, if you're going to find a forever person who does not know you and some fucking stranger, not only are you going to have to expose yourself to them, they're going to be able to watch all your videos and shit. And they're going to have to be very comfortable, or at least fake comfortability, that, you know, you are who you are. And I think that also maybe they're going to try to figure you out from your videos, you know? So
I definitely won't tell them like, I'll be open about my diagnosis. I am not telling them about my channel though. At least
you won't?
way on. But like, it's okay. So like, yeah, like feeling like you're not alone in it. It's like I went my whole life, so like kind of knowing that was at least feeling different than people. And even if cognitively I knew, like last time I was diagnosed, like I knew, okay, there's other people out there like me. It didn't resonate with me. I was like, yeah, but I'm going to be alone in this. I'm only going to know normal people, or well, normal, and people with other disorders my entire life. And then when I actually started to find people who thought like I did, I was like, this is a fucking game changer. I got so excited about the fact that I could say what was really going on in my head and not have this fear of being judged constantly. That there was something to go off of. Oh, and like also just with a partner that I cannot imagine being in a relationship with somebody that's not cluster B at this point, because it's like, there's so much more bullshit to work around. It's like, as long as they're aware, obviously, but it's like you're working at a completely different wavelength. You have to work around this stuff, explain to them all this crap. They have to explain their crap to you and try to make. Meanwhile, if you just date another cluster B, then it's like you're already on the same level, more or less. You can kind of come at it from a standpoint that is way more even. Because some people are like, oh, no, you shouldn't date another cluster B. A lot of people got mad at me when I tried to date another narcissist. And I was like, it showed how little they could understand the fact that I crave to be understood on that level. And I don't want to go through all the bullshit of how I'm going to navigate a relationship with a quote unquote normal person.
Yeah. At one point I thought like, well, maybe a normal person, because they're so forgiving, that they would be more forgiving than somebody, you know, on the cluster B. And then I thought, well, even though that they know like what we've gone through, they understand that, but from watching like Sam Vaknin shit and stuff like that, we would not be able to date somebody who is just like us. No, there's no way. We have to have somebody who's slightly different. So somebody who is slightly different than us, and as you know, people on, you know, who are comorbid on the cluster B spectrum, they're going to have different traits than us. So there is never going to be, you know, we are like snowflakes where, you know, we are, you know, an original, you know, of different traits, right? There's nobody exactly like us. If there's a doppelganger out there, whatever the fuck, but I'm just saying that, you know, there are going to be some things about our partner or future partner for you that is not going to exactly understand you.
Mm.
And I learned that with my sweetie, that there are some things that he does not understand about me. And then I have to be like, okay, I at one point I was getting upset because he didn't get it. And then I realized that, wait, it's okay that he doesn't understand. It's okay.
Yeah.
And so I had to let some things go that he doesn't understand, because in the past I was like, if you don't understand me fully, you're a piece of shit, you know.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man. But yeah, and now I'm just like, okay, well, it doesn't matter in this moment that he doesn't understand me. There's still time for, you know, maybe he will and maybe he won't, but it's okay. These are trivial things. Is it really that important? There are so many more things that are good in the relationship, and I have to remember all that good shit, because that's one thing with like our black and white thinking.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
I will say that, like, that's probably so, like, having somebody on the cluster B spectrum and dating them, I feel like that's how normal people go about their relationships, because everyone's going to be a little bit different, obviously, and have to accommodate for some of those things. We're going to have to accommodate with their with the differences between our pathologies and stuff, if that makes any sense. But with the black and white thing, like, I love talking about this because it's so fucking strange. It's like, I always say it as like, in a moment, I can recognize, oh yeah, there's good things about these people, but it like doesn't matter. It doesn't resonate emotionally at all. How does it manifest for you in the instances where you're like splitting, quote unquote?
Well, in the past, I didn't give a flying fuck. I did not care. I don't care. So I wasn't like, oh, I want to keep this person in my life, or I don't care. You're shit, you're fucking shit. And
It's done.
Basically, when I'm in that state, you are disposable. You are garbage. I don't give a fuck in that moment. Now, after disposing of somebody, I will be like, fuck, what the fuck, you know?
Right.
And then I'll be like, okay, am I gonna just sit with my shame? Should I fucking, you know, try to get this person back, or just let them go? And usually fucking 95% of the time, I'm like, just fucking let them go, because I'm not gonna fucking fuck you making, and it's always your fault, you know, fuck you for making me sit in my shame. Fuck you. You know, it was your fault that I fucking got rid of you. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. But now, trying to have a good relationship, I will still split. I will still fucking split. But I tell myself right after splitting, now that I'm very consciously aware of what's going on, I will tell myself, okay, you're going to lose this person forever if you do not dissect your emotions and actually what is happening. Because I have gaslit myself. I have projected fucking my abandonment issues. My borderline fucking shit has come up, and I have, you know, projected my abandonment on my person. And what sucks being a woman, you know, it's always during my fucking period, brother. And yeah, so that will come up, and then I have to realize, am I projecting? And my sweetie will tell me, are you projecting right now? That will trigger a fuck you. But when I start taking time to actually, you know, check, that's why I really love messages and text messages, because your partners can go back in time, snapshot when you started to project or when you started to lose your shit, and then send you proof. This is so huge, people, because I did not know that I was gaslighting myself and making up false realities or projecting my own insecurities on my partners without looking at past texts. This is huge. Because I broke up with my person twice. Okay, we've been together for 6 months. I broke up with him twice, but you know what? I broke up with him, and then within 24 hours, we talked everything out. Why did we talk everything out? And I didn't ghost him or give him the silent treatment or block him. I mean, I did block him the first time, in a few places.
Right.
But
you can't help it.
No, I can't. But is because I was like, I did second guess myself because I know that I can have a false reality. I can imagine a false reality. So anytime that he wanted to talk to me, I didn't want to punish him. I talked to him right away. That is one thing that I've never done in the past. And I wanted to, talk to him and make sure that, okay, because I know that I make up shit. I know that I want to portray myself as, the victim in the moment, and because narcissism, a psychologist said that narcissism is a defensive disorder. And it is. We're always on the defense. We're always trying to protect our shame all the time. So
everything's an attack. We're always expecting it.
Yes. So I was just like, you have no idea. I hope you have no idea yet that the pain that goes through second guessing your false reality with a partner, it is so painful. It is so painful because you're just like, and you're not thinking that you're codependent. You're not thinking that you're codependent. You're not thinking that, oh, I'm just making excuses for someone. You're actually almost swimming in this cesspool of shame because you're like, I'm making the biggest mistake of my life and you have to admit it. And it hurts so bad because you don't want to admit that you did anything wrong. And it sucks. It's so painful. And I am so lucky that I have somebody that won't shame me for that. And is just like, let's just come together and whatever issue that we were going through, he actually is like, okay, we're going to make a pact. This is what we're going to do next time we feel this feeling. And
clear boundaries is so essential when you have this shit going on.
Yes. And it's so great because I think that he knows, he understands what I'm going through. And even the times that he doesn't understand, I want to tell you this too, that the people that I talk to doing one-on-ones, I do one-on-ones with other fucking narcissists, other fucking cluster Bs, other borderlines, that when I was going through a moment when my partner was like, what's going on? I don't understand. That a phone call that I was having with another narcissistic man, he said that he was going through the same thing with his partner and he didn't understand, but he was very much in love with her. He was in love with her and he didn't understand what she was going through. And I was like, oh my God, my person probably does love me, but he doesn't understand. Yeah. That's the thing is with victim channels, they say that you're a piece of shit no matter what, all across the board. You're a fucking manipulative piece of shit.
Every time we hurt you is completely on purpose and completely calculated.
Yes. And I have had many narcissistic men come to me and they're like, I'm so angry at victim channels saying that I never loved my people. I mean, the way that they love the way that they love and the way that they need. And even if it's trauma bonded for them, they still care and they want to fix their relationship because they want to fix their own childhood. It doesn't matter. They're still obsessed over their people, and they're still, you know, and so it's even though that their love and our love may be, you know, have toxic flavor to it, we still give a shit. And people saying that we're so calculated. And just like you said before, I remember you said before, it fucking feeds your grandiosity to make for other people to think that we're so calculated and fucking badass. And I'm just like, yes,
and it's like,
yes.
That's what's so hard about it too, is because we rely on other people to define ourselves. And then they're telling us the shit, which is leading us to engage in more toxic behaviors. Because it's like, yeah, tell me I'm a fucking master manipulator that can read people like a book. Because that's awesome. I love thinking that. And for the most part, that's not true. But it's like everybody's telling us this. And I see a lot of people with NPD falling into this pit where it's like, yes, I am a monster. I'm proud of it. And it's like, it's crazy to me how damaging this whole cycle is. And nobody seems to pick up on it. It's honestly a tragedy. Also, I have to pee really bad. I'll be back.
Yeah, that's one thing that Jacob's saying is when you give us too much power over you and thinking that, you know, we're like, you know, are twirling our mustaches and shit and thinking we're like these badass fucking master manipulators, that's a fucking lie. And it almost, it really makes me hate you more. It makes me hate people more. It makes me wanting to, my defenses come up more and I want to hurt you more. Because you don't understand that things happen automatically. I have fucking feelings, you know, we do. We are not, stop giving us so much fucking power, people, please. All right. I'm going to I understand about having to piss. All right. Pity makes me angry. I've yelled at my friends. I don't need your fucking pity. Yes. Let's see if Jacob comes out.
Very briefly, I want to point out to all the people who watch my videos, Sarah is the only one that has actually got to see my eyes, by the way.
He has a great face. Everything is great.
I'm still pretty underneath the glasses, I swear.
Jacob, can you answer this question right here? Or not, it's not a question, but a statement.
A statement? Oh my God, yeah. I don't need your fucking pity. That is a line right there. I don't get angry about it anymore, but it does. But the thing is that we always forget is that compassion and pity are different things. It doesn't feel different to us, but they are different and people are trying their best. But whenever, even like when I'm showing compassion, I just feel like, why are you looking down on me? Why don't you think I'm strong enough to handle this? Why are you treating me like this? I want to be able to vent and then to just kind of be like, oh, yep, okay. I don't want them to be like, oh my God, that's such a terrible situation for you. I'm like, no, it's fucking not. I can handle it. I don't need that. I'm just kind of telling you what's going on.
Yeah.
And obviously I can't come out and say that. Like, that's not a fucking healthy thing for us to do. We have to be very understanding of their position of the fact that they aren't wired the same way. And react appropriately. I'll usually just kind of brush it off and be like, fucking whatever. And that also is part of the grandiosity too, because we're trying to show that, oh no, it doesn't bother us, and be kind of flippant about it. I'm not sure if that's the right word.
No, that is the right word. I do not want, well, that's another thing about being re-traumatized. I do not want to time travel. Fuck off. I don't want to time travel back into a place where I was vulnerable. I would rather destroy you than be back or vulnerable. And I think that goes with a lot of partners too. It's like you pity me or make me feel like I am less than you. I'm gonna just get rid of you, and I don't care.
Okay. I just remembered something that's super relevant. Whenever I talk to somebody and they're going through, like, let's say a breakup or something, my reaction is to get angry at the person that broke up with them or were broken up with, or any situation where somebody was an aggressor. My reaction is anger, because when I share something like that where somebody hurt me, in quotes, depending on what the situation was, that's what I want. I want them to get angry with me. I don't want them to show pity. And that was just a really brief thing that I thought was very relevant to this. I just thought of.
Yeah. Well, one thing is, I do tell people, no, that's not what I want to say. I'm trying to skirt away from what I really want to say. I was targeted by somebody on what do you call it, TikTok, and they were having people take responsibility for basically wanting to be in a relationship with a disordered person. And so I was like, oh, great, this fucking person is on my level, right? They want people to actually learn about their own codependency, or because they were in a relation, or they grew up, their caregivers were narcissists or borderlines or on the cluster B spectrum, with different traits. And this is why, they feel like home. So they're attached to us. And I was like, awesome. And so I did a live with this fucking CUNT. And he said, I pity you. And I was like, and right at that moment, I was like, I'm never doing a live with you again.
I was like, I'm fucking sorry.
I was like, okay. Now, the thing is that I tell I tell people to pity the ex's new person. I said, pity them, because they're going to have to go through the same thing that you had to. Now, if they do not know what they're getting into, and they don't, I was with, I mean, it's almost like, would you not pity the person who's getting involved with your ex borderline? It's like, I understand what you're going through. You are going to go through, because the new person isn't going to understand the personality disorder. They're going to think that everything is their fault. They are going to try to change themselves to be everything that this person wants to be, which is never enough, which I understand. It's like, we want to enmesh with our people. We want to melt into them. I understand the whole controlling thing. We want to control our environment. We want to make sure that, nothing is going to fuck with our stuff. This is my stuff. And even though but I don't know that they're turning into this skeleton of a soul. I don't know this.
When my ex told me, like, I lost myself in you, I got that a couple times. I didn't understand it. I really didn't. I was like, how could I have affected you at that level? And it took me a long time to sort of realize how somebody could effectively become lost in me and stuff like that. Because as I'm going through these motions, just acting on my impulses and on my instincts, it doesn't even occur to me that, again, people don't operate like us, and that this can have such a profound effect on people and, like, make them traumatized in a lot of ways.
Yes. And just so everybody knows, that even though that I know, and I talk to people all the time about the bullshit that they go through with us, that it's different when you're in a relationship, because you still have your blinders on. You're still only thinking about yourself. And a real aware person, like we are being and trying and struggling with every day, is our defenses still come up. It's just because we know that they're there, it doesn't stop them. I'm like, I'm still being fucked with all the time. The same thing comes up, but now I say, wait, that might not be real. That might not be real. That's the only thing that I'm saying is that just because I'm aware doesn't mean that the fucking thing isn't still, fucking with me.
I have to live in constant self-doubt because of it.
Yes. And oh my God. I spent one whole day, and a whole day is a long fucking time, people, for me, all day being like, is what I'm thinking not real? How fucked up is that to be like, okay, am I Alice in Wonderland and everything, all this multicolored shit is not real? What's going on? And when I'm self-doubt, it is so painful. It is so painful to have self-doubt and to be like, maybe what I'm thinking about my person isn't real, because I'm like, I'm the victim. I'm the victim. I'm the victim. I'm the victim. Wait, you're trying to punish me, and the things that you're doing isn't happening, on my thought level, and me going against myself. This is something that has protected me my whole life. So, I call it my jealous boyfriend. So I have my jealous boyfriend up in my head, and my jealous boyfriend is telling me that this man is fucking with me all the time. And so I have been self-sabotaging my relationship so my boyfriend can, keep me to himself all the time. And so now I'm fighting him. I've been doing this for my whole life. I'm old as shit. And so I've been doing this my whole life. And now I'm saying, no, you're not real. You're not real. You are not protecting me. You're lying to me. This thing that has been protecting me my whole life, and going against somebody who has, protected you from pain. It's not
sucks.
well, it's not natural, it's going against the grain of the way that we've always been. And but I'll tell you this, going against the grain has made my life better.
Amen.
Challenging that thing in our head has made my life better. It's not like, how, we're not going to let anybody fuck with us 100 times anymore. But if your person is actually sticking with you and learning to grow with you, and you now understanding your own defenses and everything, and you are actually like, okay, I know what I'm doing with my person now. I know that my person isn't doing this shady shit, and I'm actually going to do a trust fall. That's one thing. I'm doing the trust fall on my person, and my person's going to catch me. And I'm actually going to believe my person now that, and test your person, test them. And, and then they're going to fucking catch you every time. And you're like, holy shit. So this thing in my head has been lying to me, and I can believe my new person, and then it's like, your relationship gets fucking 100% better. And because now, instead of going like this in your relationship and everything getting worse, you're like, oh my God, I'm learning from my relationship. And I can actually believe that my person isn't going to abandon me, or, but they should abandon you if you're not going to grow in your relationship. Yes. And I will have massive respect for my person if they take off. It's like, you deserve better, and I'm not giving you better. And when you leave, I have respect for you. You have
to self-reflect at that point and be like, oh, well, why did this happen? And that does, in a lot of situations, lead to a lot of personal growth. I need to, before I forget, I need to point out a metaphor that Dr. Todd Grande actually used to describe how it's like to go into your defenses like that. Because he pointed out, like, oh, what does recovery feel like for somebody who is pathologically disordered like that? And he made a metaphor that imagine you and like 10 of your friends were all in a house, and somehow overnight, everybody else in the world had developed a very severe case of antisocial personality disorder, that they were all super cunning, manipulative, cutthroat, et cetera, et cetera. And then you were thrust back into society. How would you cope with that? You would adapt. You would eventually learn how to operate in this world in a way that made you somewhat happy, somewhat satisfied, but it would always just not feel quite right because you have all these, you know, compassion, empathetic traits. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, we operate, we can present super accurately. Occasionally we'll slip up. And I imagine in that situation, those people would slip up and trust somebody, basically. But it will never quite feel like we really belong in these situations, I guess you could say.
So what is something that that you're very passionate about, that you would want somebody to know about us? Like if you stumble across a victim channel, okay, what is something that you would want other people who have, you know, that are just so fucking have their blinders on, like you know, they've been in a relationship for 20 fucking years, or married for so fucking long. I mean, I know that you're 23, but when you get into a relationship with somebody in the beginning, okay, people who have been in relationships, now I've been married for 22 and a half years and with my partner for 25 years. So basically longer than you've been living. But you and I, when we are with a partner in the very beginning of a relationship, we're not trying to target them to be with us forever. I mean, can you imagine, you as a 23-year-old, can you imagine being with somebody for half of your life, another half of your life with somebody that you were not actually trying to have a relationship with?
Why would I do that? Why would I not be out looking for the perfect person? Well, like, if I don't, this is something that always baffles me. Like, this is a part of the devaluation phase, as they put it. It's not like I'm like being like, oh, I'm just using this person and now I'm getting bored of them. I mean, boredom is a portion of it, but it's more of I'm having these thoughts of like, oh my God, this person isn't perfect. This person, my soulmate is out there. Somebody who can be who I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. I'll forever be happy. And there's probably a part in me that's like, oh, the person's going to save me, right?
Yes.
For my own prison of self-absorption. It's almost comical how a lot of people can view this sort of thing. But what was the original question? Because I think I got lost in it.
Well, when I met, usually when I meet my people, I mesh with them, you know, so I'm like, okay, you're going to be my perfect person, whatever. And then over time, they are, I'm like, okay, I realize that you're not fucking, you know, the thing that I thought that you were.
Yeah.
But I was with somebody for over half of my life. And people are just like, oh, they're just these fucking liars and using me. I'm sorry, I'm not going to waste fucking 25 years of my life to be with somebody. I am struggling my whole life. I don't know what's going on with me. I am I'm trying to, you know, raise a family. I actually give a shit about my children. I do appreciate my husband. I appreciate him. I may not be like, you know, how we have like this massive enmeshment with them and they're going to save us and stuff like that. It's like, I lost that, but I was just like, okay, he's never going to understand me, but And then I thought of all of his really great qualities and everything like that. And he's a wonderful provider. He's a wonderful husband who, I mean, he's very grandiose himself, you know. He very much wanted to be put on a pedestal. And of course, I knocked him down 100 fucking times. But I mean, it wasn't so goddamn tragic to where, you know, we would divorce. I mean, I spent 25 years with this person. So for, you know, people who are like, can you imagine being with somebody for somebody over half of your life, 25 years? Because you know, you were asking questions about having kids and stuff. Can we actually, you know, give, you know, and I told you that, well, you know, with us, we don't want to treat our children the way that we were treated. So we're going to treat them like the fucking extreme opposite, right? It's very difficult. I have read so much child psychology and all that shit to try to be a fucking better parent. I mean, it's very hard. We don't fall out of the pussy knowing how to be good parents, obviously. We just take on the traits of how we were raised. Or we're going to do the exact opposite of the fucked up things how we were raised, right? So to you, it's like, would you even waste your fucking time unless there was some self-serving purpose for yourself? It's like, I want to be a good father. I want my kid to understand how much you know, they mean to me, even if it's like I have always said, only children deserve unconditional love. Fuck everybody else. Everything else is transactional.
Mhm.
If you do not, you need to give, you know, and we meet in the middle, or, you know, sometimes you're going to need more. Sometimes I'm going to need more. I learned this over time and reading books of what an actual real fucking, you know, relationship is supposed to be. But a child deserves unconditional love. And I think that this is one reason why we stay with our partners for so long. A lot of men and women stay in relationships so long is because they think that it's better for the kid. Now,
My grandpa actually, he when my mom was thinking about going through a divorce, he had a very interesting thing that he said that I think a lot of people should hear. Is when she was being like, should I say this for the kids? He said, my mom's name, I'm not going to say it out loud. I stayed with my wife for the kids, and it didn't do them any favors. Surprise, she was a borderline. But yeah, like it's, I mean, for me, like, especially when I was younger, I always kind of had a fantasy of the idea of like, oh, I'll get married one day and we'll have kids and like we'll always like be there for each other, blah, 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 blah. And even to this day, I have this thought of like, if I were to get some chick pregnant, like there is nothing in the world that would make me not want to take care of that kid. Because I'm like, I have that responsibility as now I'm like, it was unwillingly forced upon me, but it's like, I'm a father now. That is basically my goal. The only thing I can do in my mind to like even redeem myself is to take care of a kid and make sure it doesn't fucking end up like me. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, when you are trying to, or even in the future, trying to have a relationship with somebody, I want to tell you this. I hope that you expose your channel to your partner, because there is nothing better than your partner knowing everything about you. It is.
That's scary.
No, I know. But when I was like thinking about doing dating apps and shit, I was like, this is my life. Exposing myself so people will stop the stigmatism against, you know, making us monsters and stuff. And it is very important to me that my partner is going to be part of it, because I said to myself before I even started dating, my partner is going to have to be okay to be, our relationship is going to be put on blast. Our relationship is going to be put on blast. That people need to know what it's like to have a relationship where you are completely known. I think that it's important for people like us to see what it's like to have a partner that is going to be a part of you fully. They're gonna they don't have to know you fully, but they're gonna fucking learn, bro. They're gonna fucking learn who we are, how to deal with us. And if we are able, and I have put fights, conflict resolution on my channel of the fights that we've gotten into.
Good shit.
The things that I've made up in my head, what the reality was and how we were able to have conflict resolution. That is so fucking important for people like us to have good relationships, because I don't want people like us to suffer without having, you know how many fucking assholes have fucking threatened to kill me, beat me up. They want us to also, what is it? Have us put on an island, which I'm cool with, because I'd rather be.
Dr. Romney said something like that. Be like, put them all in like one like city or some shit. I was like, oh, well, fucking okay.
well, I'm like, that's not a fucking bad idea, bro. But you're gonna get bored being with your own kind, motherfucker, because the only people that fucking connect to us are people who had narcissistic, borderline, antisocial personality disorder, or HPD fucking partners.
Okay, HPD though, fuck that. Also, you got a super chat in case you haven't seen it yet.
Well, the thing is that, you know, it's like people need to understand that nobody is perfect. And, you know, I mean, we may have gotten the shit end of the stick, but, you know, nobody is fucking beyond fucking nothing. Nobody. And one reason why I get shit on is because, you know, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm going to fucking shit on you if if I'm attacked, I'm gonna shit on you. You forget who I am. If you call me and you have toxic shit, I'm gonna say you're a fucking toxic fuck. Let's dissect why you're a toxic shit storm too. You know, I'm not just gonna, you know, attack you, but I'm gonna say the truth. You know, I've had people on fucking Lee's channel fucking tell me to stay away from Lee, get away from him. And it's like, why? He's just like me.
Yep.
What the fuck do you mean stay away from him? And this is why I think that people are disillusioned. And I've had people come to me. I don't know if they've come to you yet, but thinking that, you have more empathy than you really think you do. Oh, you're a fucking better person. They even said, no, you're not fucking narcissistic. You've been abused by a narcissist. And I'm just like, okay.
Especially in real life, people being like, oh no, you don't have that. I'm like, can you piss off? I've been diagnosed how many times now? And also, like, I'm not going to say I have something that I haven't done a little bit of research on. I don't want to. I hate it when people say shit like that. It pisses me off.
Yeah. Well, another thing is, doesn't it feel like your feelings aren't being validated?
Exactly. It's like, oh my God. Because I constantly feel like I'm not being taken seriously, if I'm being honest. Especially when I was younger. It's like, people don't take me seriously until I'm throwing a fucking rage. And I'm like, want to murder people, basically.
Yes.
And that is just an extension of that. It's like, oh no, you don't have this disorder. You are just this and this and this, or whatever. I'm like, well, even if you're right, that's not how I fucking feel. So I don't want to fucking hear it.
Yeah. I've had people where this is another thing is, I don't know if you have done this, but I will warn people ahead of time who I am, so they will kind of be aware of what could happen. And they're like, they tell me no. Now, when they tell
yes.
me,
Oh my God. Fucking the one chick who I mentioned that I cheated on, that I dated like years ago. She like going into it, I was always like, hey, like I'm not a fucking good. I didn't know I had NPD at this time even. I was like, I'm not a good person. I am going to hurt you, et cetera, et cetera. And she's like, no, you won't. You're so sweet. I'm like, no, you don't get it. And she's like, no, I like who the real you is, which was the real me was callously listing off the shitty things that happened to me in childhood, not like the fucked up shit that I do. And she didn't believe me. And when we broke up, I was effectively like, I fucking told you, like you didn't understand what you were getting yourself into, and that's not your fault. But like, I wish that you would have taken it seriously so we could have had an earnest conversation about what to do in those situations. Because what am I supposed to tell somebody? No, it's like, no, you're wrong. I'm a monster, like over and over again, because it won't sink in. They're not going to believe it till they're in it.
Yeah. And even when I show them and they're like, yeah, and always they're like, I'm not going to deal with that. I do go overboard. I do the extreme. So, you know, I kind of want to get rid of them. I do want to punish them because I do feel, you know, that my feelings were not validated. So I do want to get rid of them. Yes, I do want to get rid of them because fuck you. You're giving me the feeling like from my childhood, and fuck off. I want to. And when I do get rid of those people, I don't care. I don't want to go back to those fuckers. You're not getting a fucking Hoover. Fuck you. You're nothing. You're fucking nothing. No, we're not going to Hoover everybody. I've Hoovered a handful of people, and that is it. I do not give a fuck about the majority of fucking people. You're goddamn disposable.
You have to have like a complex over them to do that shit.
Yeah, there's like unfinished business, or I really want you to understand me, or there's something that fucking like with that one guy who had really strong boundaries, and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna give you 5 years to fucking miss me, you fucking faggot, and then I'm gonna fucking come back to you. And when I say faggot, I'm talking 80s faggot as in fucking asshole. And I'm gonna come back to you and see if you are behaved now. You know, either you want my attention or you do not, you know. And yeah, they fucking behave when I come back until they don't. And then I'm just like, or they fucking, you know, want something more than I want to give. And I'm just like, no, I got what I wanted. I don't want that shit.
Yeah.
Bye.
Just the immediate boredom that sets in, like, oh, well, finally did it. Okay, cool.
Yes. Or, you know, you also think about, would I want to be in a relationship with this person long term? No, you know, and I despise fucking, even on dating sites, there's no fucking way I would want to be with somebody who had young children. It's like, no, because I need all of my focus on myself, and I'm not going to have to fake that I give a fuck about your children. No. I'm not going to harm your kids, but I do want to be number one. I do want to be number one. So what if I do harm your relationship with your children unconsciously, you know, because I have to be number one?
Yeah, honestly, it's like, I know that I'm not going to be able to take care of somebody else's kids. Like, even as, like, I'm not even confident I take care of my own kids well. Those ones will be lower 100%. I don't want to be put in a situation where I'm expected to, you know, like, take care of these kids like they're my own, and then risk fucking them up without any necessary cause, because, you know, I won't care as much.
Yeah. When I got together with my ex-husband, my son was like 1 year old. And my second husband, he was so grandiose to where he was like, I'm the best motherfucker in the land. And he turned, you know, he wanted to be the best father. So there are those types. He was still toxic as shit because he was like, do as I say, you know, and you know, he had rules that you had to follow. He was very, very military, you know. But my first husband was, you know, the drug addict, thief, and in prison all the time. He was fucking always in jail, always in prison.
He sounds fun.
So I went the total opposite, and I went to the military guy who was like, you have to be perfect in every way. And because I was very young and I didn't know what a healthy relationship was. All I did was compare the two. Husband number 2 was 100% better than husband number 1. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go for him. And he is a really fucking great guy because all he cared about was his self-image. And his self-image was father, provider, husband. That was his self-image.
Perfect.
Yes.
When you get your self-esteem regulation from those things, you can be a really great person 90% of the time.
He fucking tried. I mean, he was a raging alcoholic too, but you know, it's like, well, being a raging alcoholic is better than being, you know, somebody who's doing other illegal drugs and always being in prison. So this is fucking better than that. And he was, you know, a Marine as well. So I was just like, okay, you know, this is fucking bomb compared to what I've had, you know. And he was.
It sounds like you made the right choice for the most part.
Fuck yeah, he was for a very long time. But this is where it comes in. It's like, does even though that he's disordered himself on the grandiose, you know, look at me, put me on a pedestal and everything, and he's more on the positive side of, you know, narcissism as like, you know, just
the communal narcissist or whatever they call it.
Just worship me. Yes, just worship me. But then you throw me in the fucking mix, right?
Yeah.
Just like, okay, I'm going to try my hardest and do, you know, everything that you want, blah, blah, blah. But I need self-esteem juice, right? So I would go to fucking social media and whatever the fuck to get my fix, you know, from that bullshit too. Yeah. So, I mean, so I never try to throw him under the bus except for the ways that he needs to be thrown under the bus. Like, there was like a couple of years where I was like super depressed, and I'm never in a depressive state all the time, but there was a block of time where I was, and I was neglecting him completely. So he started fucking around online with chicks. Now, I don't know if he actually hooked up with anybody or whatever. But when I did find out that he was fucking around with people online, even though that I did in the past, and I'm a fucking, you know, double standard motherfucker.
Yeah, we all are. We're hypocrites. I own it. Whatever.
Yeah. I forgave him because I knew that I did fucked up shit online and everything like that. And I was just like, and I read fucking marriage books, having an affair books, and trying to get through things. I really fucking tried, man. He also propositioned my sister, I found out later, and I had to hold that resentment in the back of my head just to keep the family unit going. But I hate him.
I can see why.
Yes,
Jesus
I
Christ.
want to turn his heart into hamburger, even to this day. That is one thing. I can forgive everything else, but you don't fuck with my family. You don't.
Amen. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, God, that, and like, it's hard not to hold on to resentment like that,
Yeah.
and that anger and hate. Although hate and anger basically the same to me, but you know.
Yeah. And that's one
damn.
thing
Jesus.
is if he ever fucking watches my shit, the only reason why I wouldn't remarry so he doesn't have to pay alimony anymore is because of that. That is why I would stay single for the rest of my life, is to fuck you for fucking propositioning my sister. Otherwise, I don't care. It's like, he's remarried. I can take him to court. I can get more alimony. I can fuck him over as hard as I want all the time in fucking court. But I'm just like, no, because this is where being self-aware is important. I am remembering on purpose all the good things that he's done for us throughout 25 years. I appreciate my ex-husband. I appreciate him. I'm going to always hold the resentment of the sister in my head. And that's why I'm going to fuck you for as long as I can in the marriage thing. But I appreciate him. He worked very hard for us. He really wanted to work hard for us. He couldn't get along with Mikey being on the autism spectrum. And Mikey has a lot of borderline flavor to him. I told you about him.
Yeah.
And yeah. And so he doesn't get along, and Mikey doesn't want to talk to him and stuff. And I feel bad for my ex-husband for that they can't have that connection. It's yeah, I'm sure.
If it's your kid's choice, then
yes. And yes. And my Mikey, who's 16, he was with a therapist for years, and he just got sick of it. And he's just like, I'm not talking about my shit with you. He couldn't connect. It's like a therapist who's a normie. She doesn't fucking get it. She doesn't understand his cluster B shit. You know, she may understand autism, but she doesn't understand the self-loathing of neglect. You know, that's another thing. If you're going to have a fuck ton of kids, oh my God, please don't have a fuck ton of kids, because you can't emotionally connect with them.
There's not enough time in the day for them to all explain their complex and convoluted feelings and like dealing with their life and everything. How is anybody supposed to be expected to take care of that many people?
It's almost like your parent has to be a codependent themselves to have a good parent. Maybe because you know, your parent only gives a fuck about you and not themselves and not their own dreams and ambitions, or you know, getting their light or self-esteem juice or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? And they're only going to focus on you, but not in a bad way, that they don't want you to fucking keep doing all these activities and fucking being the best so you can say my kid is the best. Being a parent fucking sucks, because how are you supposed to balance out all of that shit and not ruin your fucking kid? And your kid being a teenager, they're going to fucking hate you anyway. So it's like, you know, you have to almost be like the perfect parent who only doesn't give a flying fuck about themselves at all. But what happens when the parent actually wants to give a fuck about themselves? What happens then? Your kid is going to resent the fuck out of you. They're going to fucking hate you. Then what?
The amount of selflessness that goes into parenthood fucking baffles me sometimes. It's like, how can anybody keep up with that? How can somebody, no matter what, put their kids before their own needs? Fucks me up.
Well, one thing is, like my mother, she loved having babies. So having babies, you know, they only depend on you and they don't talk back. Once they start talking back, they don't like that shit. So a disordered, you know, parent is going to, you are going to be punished severely, or they're going to neglect you and they're not going to want to deal with you, or they're going to give you whatever the fuck you want so you leave them alone. They're just going to throw money at you and shit like that. So, yeah. I was a horrible child, and I hated my fucking mother. And so, but how could I hate my mom when I'm 2 years old? You know what I mean? So, and I didn't have a rival sibling yet. And my mother still treated me, I mean, I was still unruly. So that's one thing, is like, I don't know what the fuck was going on in my head. And this is weird too, is when I was born, they used the forceps on me and they crushed my frontal lobe. They crushed
Jesus
my
Christ.
Yeah, they crushed my head. So they thought I was going to come out retarded, but I came out fucking personality disordered instead.
Oh, man.
So what if they crushed my brain on the, you know, the self-soothing, the self-regulation? I was very, you know, entitled. I was very like, fuck you, mom. What the fuck are you going to do for me? So I don't know if that has anything to do with my bullshit.
It's interesting. There's it actually shows that people who suffer brain damage in the, I forget what it's called, the fucking frontal, I don't fucking know what it's called, suffer from empathy impairments and shit like that. So it could have played into it in some degree. I have no idea.
Yeah. So I do not know, although I do know that my mom has very strong undiagnosed borderline behavior. My father was narcissistic, but he was very just dismissive. And which I understand now. I understand my father now. And not wanting to deal with that shit. Every time my mother was pregnant, he went and cheated on her he always had girlfriends on the side. But he was a smoker. He always smoked pot also, and drinking all the time. And my mother was very needy and wanting his attention all the time. And I don't think that he could give what she wanted. And so, you know, whatever. They were married for like 13 years or whatever. And my sister says that I'm just like him. And sometimes I take that as a badge of honor. You know, it's like, oh, I'm like Dad. I love Dad.
Yeah.
I love Dad. Dad, though, was very dismissive. He was isolative. That's me. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. That's me. And just very but funny and sarcastic. That's me. But you know, I need to be at an arm's distance. You know, that's me too. So the only people that I've ever tried to, like, you know, you hear about, oh, narcissists are always trying to get back to you, hoover you, and fuck with you. Not me.
That's the thing that whenever they talk about it, it really takes me off guard. It's like, at the worst, I am like criminally distant. I'm always like trying to basically make space between me and everybody else.
Yes.
I like, they're like, oh man, like they want to fucking like, they'll always try to get you back. They obsess over you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fucking, if I ended that shit, nope. I probably do not think about you.
Yes, me too. The only people that, I mean, if I got rid of you, I was like pissed that you didn't fall in line or something like that. Yes, I'm going to stalk your profile page once a year, something like that.
Keep tabs.
Yes, but I'm not obsessive over you. The only person that I've ever been obsessive over was a fucking borderline dude.
Amen. That's the only person. That's the only type of person I can have power over a narcissist.
Yes.
Always a borderline. Every time.
Yes.
Hearing people talk, hearing like fucking narcissists talk shit about borderlines is some of the funniest shit ever, because their fucking life is goddamn destroyed.
Yes. Yes. It's like, I've never been threatened. I've never blackmail. Oh my God. Just the smear campaigns. All of this shit is borderline flavor, man. And so when they talk about like narcissists, I'm like, well, vulnerable narcissists have borderline flavor to them, what the fucking professionals say, right? Because I am not going to blackmail you. I'm not going, no. The most pain this is grandiose thinking, of course, but the most pain that I think that I'm going to cause you is removing you from your life, removing yourself from my life. I think that, you know, yes, I do believe I'm the best person that you're going to ever have. Yes, I'm going to say you're never going to meet anybody like me. And thank God for that if I'm, you know, just completely fucking unaware. But yes, I believe that I'm fucking number one. I'm the top fucking dog. So why am I going to chase you? I'm number one. Why am I going to chase you?
If anything, I'm fucking grateful that it's over so I can find somebody better. Because during the entire course of the relationship, I'm like, oh my God, this person's probably not good enough for me. Like, they're not attractive enough, smart enough like me, whatever.
Yes. And so, and even though that's not, you know, reality, you know, our people, this is why I'm like, okay, what we think about you is not reality. Okay. It's just what we believe. So you're going to find somebody awesome. So please, and this is why I tell them, don't fucking try to come back to us because we're never going to put you in that state. You know, you're just going to be suffering, trying to keep us, you know, on that level, right? And so I'm just like, just fucking leave us alone. Leave us alone to fucking, you know, travel the world and fucking try to find what we think we need when we're going to realize, oh wait, maybe we're the fucking issue and we need to fucking help ourselves, because that's where the enablers come in. If you keep going back to us when we don't think that you are on our level,
those people who are like, how do I get my narcissist back, et cetera, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? No, you don't, especially if they're not self-aware. Well, okay, first of all, why are you trying to get anybody back to begin with if they don't want to be with you? But also, if they're not self-aware, why are you going back to them and proving to them, oh, this shit works, cool.
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing when I'm like, you want to reconcile with your narcissistic person? Well, you need to take all the responsibility. You need to say that everything was your fault, because we do believe that everything is their fucking fault, you know? So you better
to this day.
Yes,
usually.
You better take responsibility. And but what happens after you do get us back, after taking responsibility for everything? You know, you're still never going to.
It's going to be the same thing
in the relationship. Yes. So that is the part that you know, people who are on the cluster B spectrum shit on me about. It's like, I want people who are on the cluster B who are actually trying to work on themselves. They need to be, you know, you want to work with them. But the people who are not are aware at all, please remove yourself from them, please, because you're just enabling the cluster B to not see their toxic behavior, and they will never get help. They will never start searching or saying, oh wait, there's something wrong with me. And then you have the therapists who are like, well, if you're questioning yourself, you're not a narcissist.
So fucking bullshit. I don't get that. But yeah, like, I even tell normal people this, is if you go through a breakup and you want to get back together, think, are the things that made your breakup happen, are those going to change when you get together the second time? Probably not. Especially if it's just like, even if it's the person trying to get back with them, they still aren't fixing their behavior. Especially if they haven't like taken any time to work on themselves. It's the cycle that they put themselves through. I just don't understand it. It's like, fucking, you broke up for a reason. Look at yourself for a while, and maybe that person will also look at themselves. Maybe you'll get back together. Probably not. There's probably a good reason that happens.
Yes. And you need a long period of space. If the person is saying, I need to work on myself, I need to blah, blah, blah. Because if somebody's coming back to you saying, I've changed, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. Not only is it, am I lying to you, I'm lying to myself, because I have, being in a relationship with my borderline person, I did do a lot of research, and I was like finding different ways to cope with different things. Does that mean I'm fixed? No, it means that when these situations arise, I'm actually going to try the things.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to try the things. But if my person isn't receptive or trying to work with me, nothing fucking works. And yes, it took me several times, makeup, breakup, to realize that they're not on the same level. They don't want to fucking work on the same shit. They no. And that is very heartbreaking. And that it goes on a different level of grieving, because you're like, okay, I have to grieve with this relationship. Also, there's nothing I could have done to fix this relationship at all. Because that's one thing is people will try with a disordered person is change themselves so much, thinking that their change is going to fix the relationship. And it doesn't. And yes, I've cried in a puddle of fucking ooze, understanding that it's not going to fucking fix. I have had days of, everything's great, everything's shit. I've gone back and forth through the grieving process and bargaining and being angry. And then, until I got to the acceptance part, yes, it fucking sucks. And now I'm completely indifferent. But let me tell you this. Do not, no matter how healed you think you are, do not let this person come back into your life thinking that you can be fucking friends or fucking regular with them, because they're the ones that fucking touch your shit. They're the ones that fuck with your childhood trauma. They're the ones, even me being disordered as I am, if the borderline came back to you, Jacob, and started just like one fucking word to you, is going to trigger you into just a whole spiral of fuck you and block buttons all over social media. You'd just be like,
Well, it's like these people expect to make a relationship work when they're the only ones working on the relationship. And I heard a really good saying once. It was like a relationship should be like, it should be a relationship should be 60-40 with both of the people trying to give their 60 to make it work.
Yeah.
Like it's just strange to me that people think that they can fix this entire dynamic of a relationship when it's on both sides. Even if you were somebody who was pathologically narcissistic and you were in a relationship with somebody who basically allowed you to do whatever you did in that relationship, no matter how much you work on yourself, since that person hasn't basically got to a point that they can establish strong boundaries, when you slip up, it's going to still be just as damaging as it was before.
Yes. One thing that I always, when I read in a marriage book on how to overcome when somebody cheated, it had religious flavor to it, but I'm not religious at all. But one thing that was fucking awesome about the book was he called it the love bank. And the love bank was depositing love points in your partner. And you want to be able to always deposit love points in your partner's bank. So there's always, a plus. You don't want to go below and withdraw. So it's under zero, right? So when I read this and I was, with my ex-husband, we would joke around and be like, you're withdrawing from the love bank, we would fucking make jokes and stuff. So
that's funny.
Yeah. So we'd be more self-aware of what you're doing. It's like, so they were letting me know. So he was letting me know, okay, you're doing something that is taking away my love for you, or that's keeping you, in the love bubble zone, which was cool. And we did it in a fun way. But yes, so we're always there's never going to be a 50-50. Sometimes, your partner is going to need you more than you need him. So you need to do that, or she's going to need you more and you're going to need to do that. That's why when you're sick, your partner's going to be there for you. When your partner's sick, you're going to be there for them. When they're having trouble at work, you're going to be there for them, and, you know, vice versa and stuff. So it's a lot of, you can't be selfish, or you need to mask up hard and pretend you're not selfish, you know, in relationships. And that's what, you know, I've always done in the past is, you know, okay, well, I'm going to fake it. I'm going to fake it. And this is going to be good for my relationship. And I faked a lot of fucking shit just to make sure that my relationship was well. And this is why it lasted so long, at least for me, you know, wanting to not jump ship or fucking find somebody else and fucking just, you know, leave the relationship. And what pisses me off about, you know, these victim channels being like, they lied from the beginning, they lied. And I'm just like,
we wouldn't have put in the effort if we were just lying. Why would we do that? It's like, if we were genuinely just thinking about ourselves, why would we put in half of the effort that we do in order to get people, and in order to put an effort during it to try to make it work, even if we do some fucked up shit during it?
Yes. I mean, if you were a garbage fucking person, there are so many people out there in the world that I can fucking attach myself to. I don't fucking need you. And if I'm such this mastermind manipulator, if I'm this fucking amazing superpower that
then why did it end?
then why do I need you? And why am I not married to, you know, Donald Trump or some fucking, you know, badass fucking, you know, somebody, whatever, you know,
like general or some shit.
Yeah, it's like, give me a break. Everything, there's so much shit that is so unconscious that I'm doing, and I don't fucking know that I'm doing the shit.
It's funny because they say how unaware we are, but then when we're doing anything bad, then that's when the only time that we're aware. It's hilarious.
Yes. And I am hoping, and it's not going to happen overnight. I think that's something that frustrated me in the beginning, and I don't know if it frustrates you, is that I want people to understand now. And I'm realizing that it's taking multiple videos, multiple answering of questions, to get people to understand. And TikTok sucks, dude, because
it's awful.
I'm sorry, 3 minutes is not enough to get you to understand what is actually going in our head.
Yeah.
And I am trying so hard on TikTok to bring people over to YouTube to understand in longer videos what is going on. And one video isn't enough. I mean, I've all of my life, fucking 4 hours, dude. Do you think fucking, you know, and it's not enough. It's not enough.
It's like, I see the pattern all the time where it's like the first video somebody comments, they're like super aggressive about narcissists. The second one that they comment, they're like, they are obviously easing up. It takes 3 videos minimum for people to be like, to kind of get the unbrainwashing from some of the victim channels and realize, okay, this is a little bit more nuanced than I originally thought.
Yes.
Because, like, I mean, and can we blame them? It's like they have been bombarded by this information across the internet by all these people saying, oh, you're the victim, they did everything wrong, they were purposely trying to hurt you, they're monsters, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just fucking blast in their head. That's like fucking hardwired at this point. It takes a lot of information. And hence why I cite studies all the time, because I have proof that these people are wrong. Like, narcissists can't change. 53% of them go into remission after a 2-year treatment period. I have this shit fucking memorized by this point.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I will, I started, what do you call it? Copying, pasting videos, you know, for people. And it depends on what state I'm in. If I'm just like, okay, you're asking the same shit over and over. Okay, I'll just cut it. You know, sometimes I'm like, you're too fucking lazy to go look up my shit. Okay, I'll fucking do it for you. Fine. And here, watch this, watch that. What is really nice is when people who were like attacking us, and then when they realize what actually is going on, you know, then they're grateful. I also love when people are able to be like, I'm healing, because they understand us now, right?
Yeah.
So like the victim channels are trying to keep you in hate. And then when we're teaching them actually what's going on, and not saying, you know, go back to us or anything, but
Yeah.
you can move on, understanding that we couldn't help the way that we were reacting to you in the relationship, and that it had nothing to do with you personally, but you know, just your reactions caused a reaction in us. We did these fucked up things, and it has nothing to do with your inner self and your all that fucking shit. It's just
It's
so
when they like talk about how like, oh, they were attracted to you because of how strong and good of a person you were and shit like that. It's like, oh my god, no, like that. It really did not have anything to do with that. It's like they wanted to destroy you. It's like what, like what's in that for me? Honestly.
no. That's one thing is the empath and narcissist war. Shut the fuck up. And that is one thing is if you okay, you want to know what if somebody is being honest with you, if you come with them saying you're an empath and they tell you fuck off with your magical shit, they're being honest.
Yeah.
If somebody starts in their videos telling you, oh, and an empath, and fucking coddling your grandiose image of yourself, they're lying and they're being fake. That's a fucking lie.
I won't come straight out at people who say shit like that and be like, that's fucking stupid. You're not an empath, blah blah blah. I'll usually just kind of ignore that and hope they don't bring it up again. Because if I'm forced on it, I'll be like, I hate the term empath. I've met people with high effective empathy, and sure, it kind of is. But if you're calling yourself an empath, 90% of the time you are not an empath. My God. One of the fucking most self-absorbed people I ever met was a self-proclaimed empath.
Yes. Yes. See, and you were worried that you were going to offend anybody here? Motherfucker, I'm fucking all offended above your ass because I don't care. You come with me with, I'm an empath. Please don't come to my fucking channel and fucking start off, I'm an empath, because I'm not going to read anything else. And I'm going to say, empaths aren't real. That's all I'm gonna fucking say. And
I'm just like, imagine it's like novel of a text, and like in the first one, I'm an empath, and all you send back is just fucking empaths aren't real. Love that.
Dude, even if you have a wonderful shit to say and everything, and you want your feelings validated, I'm not reading anymore. You say you're an empath, that's it. I'm done. I'm not reading anymore. Also, if you're going to be passive aggressive and say, I love your videos, and then you start attacking me, I'm done. I'm not reading your shit. So just stop typing. Stop. Because fuck you. Don't fucking come here and attack me. I'm going to read your story. And if you have been hurt, and I'm going to say, well, this is why I did the things to my people in the past because of something that you went through. And I'm going to validate your fucking feelings. But if you attack me, I don't give a fuck if you're fucking sucking my dick. I don't care. Suck my dick in the comments, but you say anything fucking bad about my people?
It's like, oh my, oh God, like, those are like the only accounts I'll just like straight up block. Because I'm like, piss off if you're coming to my channel where like, you know, I'm a fucking narcissist. This is my fucking name. And you're like, oh, narcissists are evil. They're trying to take advantage of all of us empaths, whatever the fuck thing that they're spewing. I'm like, seriously, really, this is the game we want to play right here. My God.
Well, they're also, they don't think that we're reading their shit.
Yeah.
So until I get 1 million fucking subscribers, I'm reading fucking everything. I'm with my sweetie. And even on the weekends, I'm taking time out throughout the day. I wake up first thing in the morning, I'm reading my fucking comments. You know, in the middle of the fucking mid-morning, afternoon, night, before I go to bed, I'm reading my comments, I'm answering my shit. So, you know, when people are coming and like trying to educate, how do you like that? When people come and they try to educate people on us,
That's fucking hilarious. I'm like, okay, I think I might know my experience a little bit better than you. Like, holy shit.
yes,
I see that. Wait, like fucking, like occasionally somebody will ask me a question in my comments and somebody else will reply, like who's not a narcissist or anything. And they're just like, no, narcissists do this and this. And I'm like, really? Like, I'm reading this. I'm going to reply.
Yeah. The one thing that I let go is people who have been around for several months and watch my shit every day, and they answer for me, and they know exactly what I'm, you know, thinking and feeling and shit. And I'm just
those guys can answer it, and then like, thank God, less work for me. But if you just came straight out of Dr. Romney's channel and you're about to fucking drop some shit like that, yeah, no, not here.
No. Another thing that, who is it? Who is that fuck that, I like him, but he waffles between, understanding and being a victim. That's, Sam Vaknin's buddy. Who is that fucker?
Vaknin's buddy.
No, he's Sam Vaknin's buddy. He's the younger guy from England. Remember, Grannon.
I've never seen him.
Really?
Oh wait, no, I know who you're talking about now. Oh, fuck that guy. I don't like him.
Yeah. But I do like him, but sometimes I'll watch a video where he's not even, you know, talking about the underlying issue, and he's in victim mode. And I think that one time he said that he had borderline traits. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, so I understand that. Also, you know, HD Tutor and fucking Sam Vaknin, they also were diagnosed as psychopaths. So when they say like all narcissists are, it's like, well, wait a second, that's not the
literally there isn't two narcissists who are exactly alike. That's just a fact of the matter. Yes. Every one of us has a different mix of traits that are pathological or not. It's these extreme generalizations they make are ridiculous.
Yes.
Especially HD tutors. He's like, oh my God, the lessers will do this, and like the fucking, what are those terms? What do those terms even fucking mean? Oh my God.
I want
not
you
some
to
fucking Tolkien-esque fucking fairies or shit.
I want you to go on a rant about, I'm going to go to the bathroom, but I want you to go on a rant about HD Tutor. Since, please, because I have the same fucking thoughts as you. So you are with family, dude. You're not going to be shit on. Please, I have to go to the bathroom, but you need to talk about that motherfucker because he won't even show his fucking face. He won't even show his fucking face. You wear sunglasses, but he won't even show his fucking face at all. So
it's hilarious. All right.
Okay, I'm going.
Man, I wish I had more preparation. I gotta think about. Okay, I fucking hate HD Tutor. He's a fucking con artist, a fucking scoundrel. I hate him. He takes victim channels to like an extreme because not only is he just not even acknowledging the fact that fucking this is a mental illness, he paints us like we're just these, not just calculating, but like we're fucking like literal demons. That is what he paints us like. It's ridiculous. Have you ever heard a fucking clinician talk about these weird classes of like it's a fucking D&D campaign or some shit of narcissists. And of course, he puts himself at the top of this fucking hierarchy. He's the ultra. If there was a fucking ultra, don't you think he'd be like the leader of like a world government, not some fucker who lives in his parents' basement? Oh yeah, by the way, that's a thing apparently. His fucking ex-girlfriend talks about the fact that he lives in his parents. Have you read his books, by the way? If any of you have read it, it's filled with like fucking typos and shit. And please name one paper he actually cites. One research paper. Name one. I would love to see it. Narcissists can't change. I have a fucking paper saying that 53% of us do over a 2-year period. I will drop it in the chat right now if everybody wants me to. It's so insane. I've never met somebody so vapid. I can't tell if he's a genius con artist or if he's so caught up in his grandiosity that he believes this shit. There's no fucking, okay, no, there's no fucking way he does. There's not a single possibility. Honestly, I kind of envy his ability to con people. I wish I would have thought of it. Not actually, I'm better than that now. But like, fuck, I can't imagine how much money he's making off of this shit. I'm not even sure, because I remember a bunch of his videos. He made like, what, fucking 20 videos off the Amber Heard shit? Like, damn, way to fucking profiteer off something. Oh my God. Anyways.
He did 20 videos?
All right. So, fucking,
well,
you're back, so I'll fucking shove about that shit.
No, but have you seen
He's
him?
not talented and educated. Yeah, name one paper. One fucking paper. Sorry, somebody was defending H.G. Tudor. I got pissed.
Are they? Really? Rad.
He's a genius. He's not a genius either.
Well, if he's
a fucking moron, or he's a genius con artist.
Yes, he's a genius con artist. Didn't you say your mom showed you fucking that guy? Didn't you say that?
Yeah, she fucking, when she found my diagnosis, she fucking sent me H.G. Tudor. I was like, this is so fucking, this is so idiotic. I can't even believe it.
Yeah. One thing, okay, so when I was in high school, so like 15 years old or whatever, because I started school early because my mom didn't want me at home, so I started school early. She took us to a therapist because she wanted the therapist to say that I was the problem, and the therapist said that she was the problem. Guess who?
That's funny.
Yeah, guess who never went to therapy anymore? We did not go to therapy anymore because she was the problem. Guess who doesn't come to me to talk to me about their fucked up kids? Parents. Because when I first started my channel, fucking parents were coming to me about their fucking disordered children. I go, guess who made them disordered? You, motherfucker. You.
Like
guess
90% of the time. Like, because there are exceptions. Like, fucking, they went through some traumatic event that they had caused. But fucking 90% of the time. Yeah.
Psychopaths who were born, or the parents were still neglective, and then they got fucking sexually assaulted by somebody else. Fuck you.
Fucking diddled, yeah. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like,
responsibility.
Unless you were going through basically a war or some shit, or were so genuinely unaware that, like, then fucking 99% of the time, parents. Fuck.
Yes. And I'm not like, my mother, I have forgiven my mother because, my mother did not know. She was unaware and everything like that. And she did not know. And I'm totally fucking fine with, whatever she throws at me, I don't care. I don't take it personally. I understand now all that shit. She still fucks with my sister, and my sister loves reacting to her crazy. I don't give a shit. I won't talk to you. It doesn't bug me. I don't need your validation anymore. And my father is dead. So, I just feel I don't need anything, so I'm just like, whatever. I'm also in this state that, before I even met my significant other, that I really like my narcissistic community and people who are like us. So it's not like I need to touch someone, fuck someone, manipulate someone to love me. But having other people to understand me, that was very important. So that
100%.
when I was able to be like, have a community, then I was able to want to branch out to an actual, human being. But I wanted them to know me fully. So yes, I'm narcissistic. Yes, I've done shitty things in the past. And guess what? Here's proof. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Look, that was a huge thing because my sweetie, he was gaslit because 100% by his mother, but his mother didn't. She would make up a false reality. So she wasn't gaslighting on purpose. That's the way her brain worked. So she was very disordered. So my sweetie coming into a relationship where I gaslight myself and make up false realities sometimes, it really fucked with him. So there was times where both of us had to trust each other. Mm. And I told just last weekend, I told one of his band members, I said, I had to learn the trust fall. I actually had to believe that he was going to catch me. And not let me
I'm not sure if I've even to that point yet.
Oh, I know, but I want to give you hope that it is possible, and it actually makes my life 100% better. I don't have these up and down things. I don't have these fucked up relationship moments. Everything is like, I get all of my chaotic shit from other people's relationships from our channel because they're telling us all that shit.
Yeah.
I don't have to create anything, that they're doing it. So we have like our own soap opera. We're giving them information to help them or to understand us more, so they're not demonizing us. And then we can have our, good relationship. We get to share with them. We get to practice, listening to their shit about their life and, being kind to them. And then when our automatic responses come up, or if we feel abandonment, if we do project, they know us. Okay. So they're going to be like, okay, are you having a moment? And if we're like, fuck you, I'm not having a moment. But
there's a way to go about it that won't be completely damaging when they know what to look out for and how to handle us when we're in a dysregulated state, so to speak.
Yes. And because they know us, if we come back to us, they're not going to think that it's a Hoover, that we actually are like, you're the only person who knows me. I'm having a moment and I need to work through it. And that person is going to want to work through it with us. And we're actually growing in our relationship, because all of our relationships always start up high and then they go like this.
Yeah. That's how it always feels every time.
Yes. I think that we have an advantage because of our channels, that we're not lying, that the things that we're going through, they're not going to read psychopath fucking books and be like, you're just using us. It's like, I'm telling the world.
Yeah.
Because everybody can click on our shit. Anybody across the world can click. I'm not lying to you.
If I wanted to lie on my channel, I'd be doing what a lot of other people, I'd be doing shit like HT Tutor does, of like, because that's where the money is right now. It's a business model to demonize narcissists. And if I wanted to just lie and make money like that, that's what I would do. But since I'm going against the grain like this, clearly I have something to say that has some sort of value.
Yes. Or oh God, it's almost like the victim channels, they just want their people to stay in suffering. Now,
Keep you going back.
You have been with a borderline, so you understand what suffering is, okay, in a relationship. And because I've been with, so that's whom we trauma bond with, the disordered people who remind us of our childhood.
Yep.
And I know that you've been with somebody like that. And not only have I been with somebody like that, but of a couple others as well. So we both know what it's like to be on both sides. We know what it's like to be the automatic defensive abuser and somebody who we believe is abusing the fuck out of us.
Yep.
We believe that they were being malicious. We believe that. And it's still hard, even knowing, we know our own feelings. We still believe, or it was very hard for me to believe that, oh, fuck, they think like us. Maybe they weren't being malicious,
It's the like, because I fell into the same trap that a lot of people do when it comes to narcissists with my borderline. I was like, borderlines are fucking awful. I hate all of them. They still kind of scare me. But, I was very much in this mindset of they're all just trying to hurt us. They're like, I read some shit online about like how terrible they are, crap like that. And it really, and like for 3 years, I hung on to that just fucking like vile hatred, just that like festering resentment until I actually met somebody who was also a borderline. And I was like, and I got along with them really well and was like, oh, wait, we're like way more similar than I thought. You're not a monster, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what led to me kind of being like, oh, it's not borderlines and stuff. Oh, like based on what their mechanisms were, et cetera, et cetera. That's what led to actual healing. It wasn't fucking hating on her 24/7 for being a borderline, or more accurately, for being a monster, as I perceived it.
Yeah. I think I believe that to heal, being with a disordered person that you're trying to distance yourself from, because they do remind you of the people that you grew up with, Yes, it is. That learning about us is so important. I don't give a fuck if you pity your person. I feel bad for them, the things that they have to suffer when, number one, you're not going to be able to fix this with your love. You need to understand your own trauma and why you are bonded to us. Fix your own codependency and your own boundaries. And
deal with your own trauma. Why this happened to begin with.
Yes, and you might be disordered yourself, which is going to wake you up to that, and then you get to fix that. Oh, how wonderful. This is what you and I are doing. This is what you and I are doing. We're not trying to keep people, in the hate mode. Another thing, and I'm going to make a video on this later too, is oh my God, please don't count your no contact days. I don't know if you've experienced this, Jacob, but do not. I made a video of, I had a habit tracker, and I would track the days that I fought with my borderline. So I could know how it got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse throughout the time. Now that was helpful because I was like, okay, things aren't getting better, they're getting worse. But when I went no contact with my person for the very last time, I tracked it for 1 week, only 7 days. And that was it. I was like, the relationship is dead. So I have to bury this relationship in the graveyard, and I'm not going to count the day. What the fuck is that doing? Counting the days that a person is away from you. It's almost like, okay.
You're torturing yourself at that point.
Thank you.
Constantly
Yes.
a reminder.
Yes. And I tortured myself. So it's like, okay, I've been away from this person for 2 months, and they came back. Okay. Are they going to come back in another 2 months the next time that we get into a fight?
Oh,
how about I get rid of this relationship altogether? I'm not going to count a fucking thing. And all I'm going to focus on is how better I'm doing. So
that should be the focus.
Please do not count your no contact days. Do not, because that is going to keep you in grieving mode forever. Stop it. Fuck.
Yep. It's like, why are you having a reminder each day of this person, more or less? Like, I'm not saying you should forget them and all the lessons you learn, shit like that, but like, just them being at the forefront of your mind like that, especially if you went through any degree of trauma, that's not good for anybody.
Yes.
It's
And I'm only saying that because it fucking sucked for me. And it actually kept me in the trauma state with one person for a couple years. My life was put on hold. So when I actually learned the second time was somebody different, when I learned about our both issues, I was able to forgive them. It's not their fucking fault. It wasn't me, but I reminded them of their parent, of their disordered parent. And so the things that I did to him, he was trying to fix his childhood through me. And it's not happening, dude, because when you're with me, all my defenses are coming up from my childhood, and I'm going to fuck you up, man. I'm going to punish the fuck out of you because you remind me of my abuser.
Mm-hmm.
So once I remembered that, I was like, okay. And I was able to become indifferent to that relationship over time. Once I was able to grieve it.
Yep. It didn't constantly re-traumatize you.
Yes, but if you let that person back, they're going to re-traumatize you. So I don't give a fuck. My sister and I went through this with our own mother. We're just like, okay, are we going to let our mother back in our life? We did all this spiritual fucking great shit. And then you let your original abuser back into your life and you're like, no.
All that's out the window at that point. I've mentioned like, my mom had this mocking tone that she would use whenever and every time I hear her start to use that tone, there is no logic there. It is only anger at that point.
I have a
if
question.
They don't work on themselves, there's nothing there, no matter how much you work on yourself.
I just remembered this is the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard, and I want to know what you think about it.
Okay. After this, I do have to go because it's 10:30 here.
Okay. Last thing. When people say that their narcissistic person's eyes go black.
They go black?
Yeah. Have you not heard that?
No, I haven't. I've heard, like, can you tell a narcissist by their eyes? I've never heard that when they get angry. I guess their eyes dilate a little bit with that stimulation, but, like, I don't think they go black, usually, at least.
I have looked it up. And when you become emotionally stimulated and like anger and stuff, your eyes dilate. Yes. So I have 100 fucking times I have read that we are, possessed by the devil. And when we get angry, our eyes got full black. Now, my sweetie and I, we looked online and we were going to get fucking contact lenses that were just all black.
That'd be hilarious. You like that? When I take off my glasses at some point, I should be wearing those.
Yes. I was going to get the fucking thing just to fucking mock the fucking thing. It's ridiculous. It's fucking so dumb.
Because I get those people all the time who are like, they're like, you just have to go to Jesus. And I'm like, okay, maybe my mental issues might have something to do other than with spirituality, but maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll go to Jesus someday.
Yes, I've already done the Jesus thing, and it is a Band-Aid. It's just a Band-Aid. You think that it's just like you think somebody else is going to save you. You have to come to the awareness of your own things, and you have to be consciously aware of how you are treating other people, because religion is just another mask. It's just a mask. It's a lie. And religion is actually worse because you're using like something, you're not taking responsibility. You're saying that it's some demonic spirit and something else is again. Fuck you, no. It's because of how we were treated, young, how we had to cope. And now being aware of our actual, the way that we treat our people that we fucking care about, people that we do give a shit about, and we don't want to hurt ourselves by hurting them.
Yeah.
Yes. I care more about, yes, myself.
No matter what.
Yes, no matter what. But if I'm going to have a good relationship, I have to change my behaviors to make you happy. And then you're going to shine your fucking light on me. I get my self-esteem juice and everything is great. So, it is a give and take still. And I need to understand, though, sometimes, I'm going to make up a false reality. I'm going to push my false reality on you. I hope that you are forgiving of that thing. And I hope that I'm aware enough to know that I'm creating.
You'll take responsibility for it and shit.
I know it's very difficult. And I feel very grateful for the person that I do have that is going through this with me. But you study a lot on this shit. That's why I'm telling you that the fucking next person that you fucking get together with, please expose yourself fully.
And we'll fuck you just a stack of studies put in front of them and be like, read all these before getting into a relationship.
Well, yes. Well, even knowing, and it's going to be very hard to trust your people because I did not trust my people. I was like, you're gonna fuck me up. I have to protect myself. There's those automatic responses, the snap reaction that's like, fuck you. You know what I mean? And then we're just like, either I'm going to attack you or I'm going to ignore you. I'm going to run away and I'm going to get rid of the whole relationship, or even I want to punish my people. So I've had that, those moments, and I had to stop myself. And I even told my person, I said, the force field wanted to go up. The walls wanted to go up. And then I was just like, okay, well, we're not married. We don't live together. I don't have to be with you. So I can dispose of you right away, or I can actually sit and actually try.
Work on it. Yeah.
And yes. And that makes it even better because I don't have to be with you. That's what's great is I don't have to work with you because we have kids. I don't have to work with you because we live together and there's
You're
like
doing it because you want to in this situation.
Yes. Oh, how fucking great is that to be with somebody because you want to be with them, not because you have to be with them. How wonderful is that? That is
probably pretty nice, I imagine.
Yes. And I think that you have an advantage above all other fucking people with our disorder because you have proof that you are not lying. Okay. So everybody's going to read all this psychopathic freak fucking shit and Dr. Ramani shit. And you're going to be like, this is the real, this is real here. This is make believe in demonic fantasy. And this is fucking real. And then I really believe that they're going to feel very special that they were able to be with you and work through everything. And I think that it's very important also that they know that you should be putting your relationship on blast and everything that you are learning, and even having like lives with your people, which I keep, I had one life with my person and I'm just like, I want you to have more with me. Will you fucking have more? But yeah. So people can understand not having hope with their disordered person, but somebody who's actually trying. There is hope.
There is, yeah. Because that's one thing that like I always like to. I don't touch upon it that often, but like if there's a disordered person in your life and they know they're disordered and they're working on it. I hate when people are just like, oh, it's a narcissist, get away. It's like, no, if they know and they're working on it, there is a full-on possibility to have a healthy relationship. Personally, I don't believe them to that point yet, and hopefully they have the awareness to know if they're to that point yet. But getting to that point isn't impossible, I guess you could say.
No, I have massive, massive hope for you. I mean, I'm 48. I'm 48 and I'm finally having an authentic relationship at 48. I am very jealous and excited for you that you won't have to suffer a lot of the things that I had to by not being aware of my shit and just blaming everybody else. And I think it's oh my God. And I hope that so many people just learning. I've had phone calls with people who are like 17 years old who are struggling. Yes. And this was before I knew about your channel and stuff. And so I love being able to send people to other channels and having different perspectives. Now, that's one thing. Is like, I want to be, you know, of course, I want to be number one. I want to be the best out there and fucking all that shit. But if I want people to understand us better, I have to fucking share the spotlight. So I'm always like, Nameless Narcissist, will you fucking go watch him? Will you go watch him and understand the fucking, you know, if people are going through shit, especially men, you know, that are going through things and it's like, okay, well, I fucking watched him and he fucking said this shit. And he actually woke me up to some things that I didn't understand, which you have, that, you know, I'm just like, go fucking watch, you know, him.
I mean, and that's the amazing part about having like multiple people who are like aware and actually talking about this crap, is that like I might meet somebody who is like pathologically narcissistic and I might barely relate to them at all. Like there would be some core features, but like, let's say they're older than me or are a female or like whatever. I can't relate to those experiences super well. Like, what am I supposed to say to that person when they're talking about things very specific to their presentation of the disorder?
Yes.
Because we're all fucking different. All of us.
Yes. And I've had Lee fucking refer people to me, like men who are dealing with wives who have narcissistic tendencies. Of course, you know, they think that everybody's fucking narcissistic, but whatever. Of course. You know. But
if you're an abuser, you're a narcissist. So
yeah. And, you know, sometimes but, you know, I grew up with a borderline. I fucking dated a borderline man. So, you know, we have different, you know, you dated a borderline fucking woman. So you understand that dynamic too. So it's not like we're not knowledgeable in certain things, but if somebody asked you, oh, how is it like to go through a divorce? You wouldn't fucking know.
I'm like, fuck, I don't know. Like, fuck, I'm like 23.
Yeah. Where I've been divorced twice. So, you know, I would know I know how, you know, what it's like to raise kids. But, you know, I know what it's like having a toxic mother who beats you up, where I didn't beat up my children. So, you know,
that's what, because like why I asked you about like your children and shit, I was like, I have no experience with raising kids and I fucking deal with this shit. And I'm like, fuck, like, is it even a possibility? Like, I'm still not even convinced about it, but it's like, your kids don't seem that fucked up, so like there must be some kind of hope with it.
Well, my boys, they it might be a son mommy thing to where I love my boys, you know. I love my daughter too, but my daughter reminded me a lot of myself, so she was like dismissed a lot more than my boys, you know.
That's how my dad, he had the borderline grandparent, and the resentment he held towards my sister for her basically exhibiting the same behaviors. Not great.
Yeah.
But also it was strange because there would be this, on one hand, he would be like, she reminds me of my mom and I hate it. On the other hand, it felt like he was trying his best to please her because of how she reminded him of her mom. So it was just bad on both levels, I'm being honest.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yes. When I would watch my ex-husband with my daughter, he would be very dismissive of her emotional behavior and be like, go to your room when she's crying and stuff. But she would take him, he would take her to the mall. They would go get pedicures together, you know, their feet done and stuff.
Yeah.
And fucking, you know, everything like that. So he was like, you know, that's where she would learn the love-hate thing,
Yep.
you know? And, you know, I always put my boys on a pedestal. I was only, you know, I was never around. I don't know. There's something about, I really like my sons to love me. I don't get it. I don't understand that, that part. I loved, cooking, cleaning, bringing them food, doing their laundry, making them put me on a pedestal. Just my boys. I never grew up with boys, but there was something about my sons that I really needed them to, you know, when my son was depressed, I wouldn't let him be alone. I'm like, come out into the living room. We're going to watch a comedy. We're going to whatever. We didn't have to talk about anything, but I wouldn't let him be alone. I would always tell him, you know, he would always be worried about the future. I'm like, let's think about the present moment. Let's, you know, everything. I mean,
we do now.
Yeah. And I have always felt like I was a good mother. I always felt like I was good because I was doting on them too much. I was very helicopter parent.
Yeah.
My 20, when he was like 26 or 25, he went to a rave. And I was like, let me know when you're coming home. I go, even though I'm going to be in bed, just send me a text.
Yep.
He's 25, dude. Okay. And I'm
Take
asking
care of himself.
Can you imagine your parent telling you've been in the military, you worked at a prison, you've been through life, okay, already at 23, and your mom saying, baby, will you please just let me know that you're home safe, because that's going to not give me anxiety, because I love you so much that I want to make sure that you're safe. Now you're going to feel like, okay, my mom loves me, but my mom is very smothering.
Yeah. I was trying to think of the word, but like, oh my gosh, no, I would lose my mind at that shit. Like, piss off.
I know, but if your mom always fucking took care of you, made, you know, fold your clothes, cleaned your room, did everything for you, so you're turning into a narcissist in a different way. You're because you were put on a pedestal. You are the greatest fucking guy on the planet.
I feel like the super entitled ones, that's where I see that popping up the most. Because like that entitlement, I never really related to as much, at least. Emotionally, sure. But like the ones that are like, oh, you got to do everything for me. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, one thing that confuses me, I know you have to go, but one thing that confuses me a lot with my son is that I know that he hides a lot of stuff. Now I put him on a pedestal, and then my husband was military. My son did everything. He took out the garbage. He mowed the lawn. When he got straight A's in school, that's when we bought him the computer system or whatever. He always worked for the things that he wanted, you know, or got, and it was like a surprise. My husband always called him the prince. And my son hated it because my son felt like he worked for everything that he got.
I preferred emperor personally.
But you know, my son also knows how to manipulate my ex-husband just to keep him happy. It's like, do what dad wants. He would always tell his sister, the middle child, just do what dad wants and dad will leave you alone. And she's like, no. And she fought against everything. Yeah.
That's that's like the almost exact thing. It's like Janice, I shouldn't say her name, my sister, keep your head down. Don't fucking get in their way and we'll be fine. Do that. And then she'd be like, ah! And I'm like, God damn it. Now I have to deal with this too.
Yes. So that was the same with my daughter. My daughter's the one, my son is the one that told me not to guilt him. He's the one that taught me, that I was guilting him to get the result that I wanted. So he's the one, he made me aware of me guilting my children. So I'm grateful for that. My daughter taught me that me saying I'm sorry was a lie. She taught me that. She's like, don't fucking say you're sorry, you're lying. And I'm just like, you know what? You're right. I am lying. I'm not sorry. Do what I fucking want. So she taught me that. Yeah. And then my youngest son, he was completely dismissed because my husband and middle child, they were always fighting for attention. So the youngest one, who's on the autism spectrum, but high functioning big time. So he's watching everybody and critiquing every fucking thing. He's like, I'm not going to even try to get my opinion. You know, I'm not, fuck it. Nobody gives a shit about me. So I'm just going to shut the fuck up. Yeah. So that's his thing. So even though that I did not lay hands on my children, that I did not call them names, they still got fucked up. Even though that I did not beat them up, pull their hair, throw them in a fucking cellar, anything like that, I ruined them in different ways. I did. And it's very hard being a parent. So fucking wear a rubber, assholes, or fucking get on birth control. I have, since my son was in the 5th grade, I would always say, like, weekly, wear rubber, wear rubber, wear rubber. That was like
That's what that was my sex talk, actually. My mom would just say, wear protection. I'm like, okay, I got it. And I stuck with that too. And my friends would make fun of me being like, oh, I never did a girl raw or some shit. And I was like, well, if I do, then I'll never go back. And apparently that was the truth. Fuck. No kids get that.
I know. And please know that women will lie. They will lie that they're on birth control just to have a baby with you. And it's because, you know, they want to attach themselves through the child to you. Please, please wear a rubber, men. Please.
I'm thinking about getting a vasectomy, honestly.
Yes. Oh my God. Unless you do that, fuck, you know, oh my God. Like I being 48, I don't have my tubes tied or anything, but my boyfriend has a vasectomy. Yay. Yay. So
everybody's happy.
Yes. It's like, oh my God. I don't want Okay.
Okay, yeah. I do have to go, but thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, thank you, Jacob. God damn.
Hey,
So,
nameless.
NaMeLeSs, yes, NaMeLeSs Narcissist. He's gonna put out his own sunglasses one day, calling NaMeLeSs sunglasses.
Literally, I'm going to have like a charity or event or some shit. It's like, if we get to like $10,000, I'll take off my sunglasses or something. I want to sell them on eBay at some point. Anyways, though, yeah, we got to do this again sometime for sure.
Yes, subscribe to NaMeLeSs, please. And now NaMeLeSs can do his own fucking lives. So hell
Thank
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
But hell yeah. Y'all have a good day, though. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And have fun with the rest of the stream.
Oh, I'm going to leave too. So
never mind. All right.
It's almost 4 hours. Fuck it. Yeah, we're both going. Okay.
Fuck it. Okay.
All right. Have a good day. All right. Bye.